Oh yeah, I got to get these on.
Why don't you listen to me?
Why don't you listen to me? Why don't you listen to me? Why don't you listen to me?
Why don't you listen to me?
Why don't you listen to me? Hello, everybody. You're watching Going Viral. Today is November 5th, 2025, and it's 8:30, excuse me, 5:30 here in Los Angeles, 8:30 in New York. We'll see who shows up. But if nobody shows up, whoops. Hi, everybody. You're watching Going Viral. Today is November 5th, 2025. And it's 5:30 here in Los Angeles, and it's 8:30 in Manhattan, where everybody's out celebrating the election of Mondavi uh, Zehan, Zahar, something like that. Zehan Mondavi, something like that. Well, you'll get it sooner or later. But anyhow, everybody's celebrating the new elected mayor. He doesn't take office until January, but he's won the election. And we'll see who shows up. If nobody else shows up, I'm going to start reading Harper's Index, which I think is a very interesting thing. So till somebody else comes in, I'm going to go pause. everybody's celebrating the election of, everybody in New York is celebrating the election of Zoran Momdavi. Well, not everybody, but everybody that supported him. He got elected, he won the election, and he'll take the seat as the mayor of New York City in January of 2026. And that's when the circus starts. Okay. So I'm going to put on pause now until somebody comes and shows up. I don't have anything to tighten this. I tighten this, maybe it tightens that. Nope, I don't think so. Maybe, sort of does. Hello, Alex.
All right.
Was there lots of balloons and fireworks going off there in New York City?
I mean, not for Cuomo.
Not for Cuomo. No, he gets the dirge.
Oh, yes, yeah.
The,
Well, which is a good thing, I think. Nothing else.
yeah.
Let's see what the new mayor can do. Assume Jim wants to talk about that. We'll see. On the left, we're always, worried about the candidates selling out.
Oh, really?
Well, not that you guys on the right aren't. yeah.
Oh, I mean, not this
That
guy.
they're, they make all these promises and then don't deliver.
No, but he seems like about it. Did you ever look up his father's background?
Yeah, no, well, no, again, Jim, I mean, and Jim's told me, I know, yeah, I know his reputation. He's a very good scholar of Western imperialism.
Father is.
Yeah, not gonna very left wing. Again, well, hopefully his son isn't just, putting it on. I mean, well, there are, there's things. His wife is supported the overthrow of Assad, which I don't think was a good thing. So
Who?
his wife, Mamdani's wife, she's Syrian, so she was part of the whole regime,
Zoran's wife? Zoran's,
Syria regime change, which has
yeah.
gotten us, well, now they're massacring, all the minority populations in Syria, the government. So she hasn't, well, apparently she hasn't said one word about it. So, which should be, we were wrong about, Assad might be a bad guy, but at least he wasn't, just slaughtering all of us.
Oh, I see.
It's
What
Al Qaeda, the
are
the,
they
the leader.
assassinating?
He's basically he's an Al Qaeda guy. He's the religious fanatics. Everybody claims he actually is one of the religious Islamic fanatics. Everybody claims Mamdani is. Again, I mean, they were saying ridiculous stuff. Like again, they were they were saying, oh, Mamdani agrees with agrees with persecuting gays, which happened in Uganda, but they don't they don't know they don't first off again like a lot of Indian Africans who were in Uganda. They were, Idi Amin, he got this crazy idea that, all the Indians working, they were kind of like the Chinese are in certain parts of Asia. They're kind of the merchant class in Uganda. So they had a decent amount of, wealth and property. So Amin decided one day that they're all traitors to the country and expelled them, including again, Zoran's dad. So the idea that he's for persecuting, gays, or he's really a Ugandan. I mean, because if he's not a Muslim, it's all just xenophobia. And yeah, plus again, it's actually the Christians who are behind all the anti-gay legislation in Uganda. In fact, again, it's American evangelicals who went over there and kind of imported, their reactionary ideas about homosexuals and then figured, oh well, here in Africa we can, actually do what we can't do in the U.S. So they actually again they passed legislation that makes it you can kill, you can execute someone who's gay. I think that's still the law, and yeah. So again, they said, oh, he's behind that. Well, I mean, you can just see again, he was campaigning at gay clubs, a few nights ago as part of his you don't see, I don't think you see Cuomo, who was, remember, oh yeah, Kenny, you remember again during COVID when Cuomo made that dumb speech about, I am gay, I am Irish, I am black, start listing off all these minorities that he was, that basically he was too. So,
Well, I mean, I only listened to about 3 minutes of Zoran's acceptance speech in front of a big crowd, and it was
Yeah,
very bombastic and high
he
high
won.
level.
He won big. You know,
This is
he
the
got the
changing.
he got the
We're
majority.
changing the world, and I have to thank you, wonderful people. You're the one who did it.
Well, they actually are the reason he won, so it's not wrong.
So Daryl's
Oh,
joining us. We're being honored by Daryl. Hiya, Daryl. Haven't seen you in a while.
It's
What?
how are
Oh,
you, Ken?
oh, I'm getting by
no,
with the help of American medical professionals.
well, well,
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Take these pills. Take that. You have to meet the medical standard. It doesn't matter whether you feel good or not, or if you feel bad. You just take these pills. You looked at the numbers, and that's it. So anyhow, Daryl,
Work for
I've
Uncle Dick?
are you celebrating Moldavi, Momdavi?
Mom, Dottie, don't be like Cuomo, and
It's not
not
Davi,
know
it's
how to
Donnie.
properly. It's not that complicated a name.
It's Momdani,
Yeah,
Momdani.
yes,
Zoran Momdani.
not too much
What
more
I do is I keep the
complicated than
spelling in front of my face simply because there's so much challenge.
So much what?
Daryl.
Come on,
Oh, you muted
Daryl.
yourself, Daryl.
Turn your mic on. There you go.
There's so much of a challenge because of the misinformation. So if you just keep the spelling in front of your face until you get it, then it's
Yeah.
easier for me. It's M A
Oh,
M, M
no,
A
it's
M, M A
M-A-M,
M, D A N A,
Mom.
D A
It,
I D. Oh, as you can see, I'm on the ball. I'm on the ball. Hi there, Alex.
Hey, Daryl. Good to see you.
yeah.
Well, not see you, but hear from you.
Well, we're seeing a good picture of
Yeah,
you.
Kenny isn't, well, he's not. I would say I'm ecstatic, but again, no, I
I
think it's a good
apologize.
thing.
I muted you all out.
Okay. So what's your reaction to the election of Zoran?
It's much better than Cuomo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Curtis would be. Oh, whoa. Excuse me. A little balance problem here.
Yeah.
Uh, even Curtis would be better than Cuomo.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Cuomo was just such a snake. I mean, he wasn't even a question.
Yeah.
So
He's
if
not
you're
even
talking
really a
about,
Democrat, if you remember right.
excuse me,
He's not even really a Democrat. I mean,
he's
Daryl,
not.
you remember about the whole thing with the IDC, where he
Oh
created the
yeah,
independent
right,
Democrats just so he would never have to pass anything progressive.
right. That makes him a Democrat. And under the current
Well,
uh, leadership, which needs to be changed.
true. I mean,
So when the population gets around to changing the leadership, then the population will benefit. Um, I was listening to, they were poo-pooing about the quote unquote free bus. We need to stop using the word free, first of all. And when you get down to it, since the thing is subsidized anyway, just make
true.
it a full business subsidy. It's you're not putting that much money in using the fare box. So with all the money that they put into collecting, and this includes the subway, collecting all those fares costs money. You
Yeah.
got to pick up the money. You got to move. Well, they now have. Have you been moving around? Can you still put coins in the various boxes, Alex?
On the bus, yeah, I think you can still technically. I occasionally see somebody do that. Dump a bunch
On
of
the
change.
bus, but not the subway.
Yeah, yeah,
So in that context, old people, are freaking out because even the Metro card is up in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
yeah. At the end of the year, yeah, they have to get the switch over to the new Omni card. Yeah,
Which means translation, which means use your own card connected to either a bank account or a
Right,
credit card account. We ain't giving you nothing. So in that context, why not switch the whole thing over, do away with all of that,
yeah,
and just have people moving around the city like normal people would.
right. I
But I
mean,
mean,
there's, yeah,
however, it needs to be explained because the population wants to be a victim. How come
I
you're
mean,
getting on the bus for free? Gotta
yeah.
pay.
I mean, there are some cities, I think, in the US that have essentially a free bus or, I mean, Kenny, how much does public transit? I've never been to LA, so I don't know. How much does your bus or
I
metro
don't pay
cost
that
in
much
LA?
because I got a senior pass.
But what's
So
it
it's
cost
very like,
per trip
I think it's
ride?
$1. I don't remember. Maybe 85 cents.
See, or yeah, so
But I
somehow
think
LA has it much
it's
cheaper than 290. How do they do it? And
dollar
yeah, no.
fifty. It's $1.50, I think, for without a
And
car
you guys
pass.
probably have fewer buses. Well, you definitely have fewer subway lines than we do.
No, the buses is very no, we don't have a subway.
Yeah.
So we're relying on buses. We're just getting a light rail in, and the light rail is the longest light rail in the US,
Yeah.
more in terms of miles. But
Does
the
it go
major
through?
flow of traffic is from East LA, immigrants going to West LA to work for as nannies and taking care of the
Right, right,
children
right,
and
right. Yeah.
washing windows and cutting grass.
Or do construction.
That's it. So it's fun to take the bus because you meet the international collection of
Sure.
people who live
Well,
in LA. Then I
New
think
York.
we're at one out of every five is not born is born outside the US of the residents here. I'm
Yeah.
not saying
No,
citizens, but the residents,
I
you
think New
know,
York still is the most, uh, diverse
per,
city in the country. But yeah, just because we have,
uh,
so many different when we start counting nationalities, essentially, we have like about everybody, or some of them anyway.
well, when I was working on voting integrity, I saw there were like 90 languages that
Oh
they
yeah,
that they had to
sure.
take accommodate. Well, they would only pick about seven in terms of printing, but they
Right.
somehow made it available for multiple languages. And then now, if you
Computer
do have a computer run voting system, you don't have a problem with
switch over.
changing the language. But yeah, it doesn't help to have all those languages. It's too tribalistic. Where you sit next to somebody and you don't know if they're talking about their neighbor or they're plotting your death, because they're going, blah,
39
blah,
bucks
blah,
and
blah,
you
blah,
get
blah,
the
blah.
earphone. 39 bucks you get the AirPod and it translates for you.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Was
AI.
it $39? I thought it was 70
39 bucks.
Hmm.
for the translator.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
right?
handy.
Better than Star Trek.
Yeah, I'm going to try that with my wife. I'll say,
Oh,
hey, Grace, whatever it is, say it in here and I'll get the translation and I'll understand what it is you're talking about.
You
yeah.
probably can load something to your phone until you can get I mean, in the next 5 years, if the game gets played out the way the game gets played out, then between the glasses and the augmentation, the oral augmentation, all that stuff that people were complaining about with regard to being unable to understand people, for the most part, is gone.
Um, yeah, maybe.
So now it's just about whether you're going to accept the culture and whether you're going to make people feel welcome enough to integrate into your culture, or you're going to keep them separate.
Yeah. We just went for a walk about an hour ago or 2 hours ago through Little Ethiopia. You know,
Wow.
we have a set, it's only about a block long, but
Mm-hmm.
there's about 15 restaurants there serving Ethiopian fuel and food, Ethiopian food.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good jokes about that. But they, some people really like the Ethiopian stuff. It's basically vegan, mostly vegetables. Like I don't know, they might have some kind of kangaroos or possums or something else, but it's
No, come
mostly
on.
vegetables. Mostly vegetable.
Africa.
Africa, yes, not a very popular place. People keep coming out from going to other countries from there. But
Only
anyhow,
because of Africom.
Af-
Africom, then you got
yeah,
Wagner
Ken's
Group.
not getting what he means the U.S. Theater Command, Africa
we have
Command.
more people, more,
Well,
more
no, but
people
which is true
leaving,
is absolutely right.
more
It's
people leaving
just like in
Africa.
Latin America, people leave there because we keep fucking things up for them because we have to, we
Hey,
have to
wait.
we have to maintain
What,
control of all the resources for our corporations.
Alex? What's we? Who are you
The
encompassing with the
United
word
States of
we?
America.
It. The United States of America is an it.
Who
It's
do
not
you
we.
who do
Me.
you think who do you think make sure that all the not just American but like Canadian and Australian mining
No. Right
get
now, I
access to
think.
all that coltan and this and
I
that.
think right now we is a generalization of somebody you want to criticize.
No, it's the United States capitalist system, or you could. What argue the other argument is that it's a transnational capitalist network that basically, and that it's a continuing imperialist system, which it is.
Oh, okay.
We're all in, we're all slaves. Well, again,
We're all slaves.
including the billionaires too.
Where's God when you want him? Why is God letting this happen? Why isn't he doing something
Because
about
if
this
you read the
imperialism?
book,
Depends on which interpretation of if we're going with the Christian interpretation is because of free will. Because God allows free will, so we're free to screw things up.
So
it's
it's
deeper
like,
than that,
Or
Alex.
if he doesn't exist, then it's all then it's just all the decisions different people make. So there's no God to make it one way or another.
If you read the book, it clearly states that the people who, if you're talking about the God of Abraham, which is supposed to be the head of the Abrahamic religions, he's giving it over.
Yeah, and
So
how many times
he's waiting for his children to behave. It's
yeah,
like it's like you give an instruction as a parent, and you as the child say, ain't doing that.
yeah.
So what's the best way to handle that? Is it to do it for you when you have the capabilities and the power to change it? How much am I paying for Gaza? How much am I paying for Gerald Ford to go down to Venezuela to sit there to blow up 11-foot boats? How much money is that? They're
Well,
talking about free
that's
subways
hundred.
and
Well, it's
communism.
going to be billions of dollars just for that. Yeah, for all the
No,
route.
somebody needs to work the figures on how much that flotilla down there, not to mention the removal of all people of African descent in leadership because either they were asked to leave or they were put in positions in which they couldn't stay.
All right. Well,
what?
the
So
Who's doing that? Wait, I didn't hear this one. I must
Trump,
be
no,
listening to
Trump.
the wrong
Well,
news.
one of
Hey,
them,
wait a minute. Alex, take a break. Well, I haven't heard this in the news. You're saying there's a conspiracy in
nope, I'm not
Venezuela to
saying it's a
get rid of
conspiracy.
African American politicians or public officials. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Oh, what
general,
is it?
general grade officers.
Oh, out of the military in Venezuela?
No, in the United States.
Oh, the U.S. has a conspiracy going on to get rid of African
not a
American military officers or generals.
it's
High,
In
not
the
a
high.
United
conspiracy
States.
because it's
It's
not
not a
hidden.
conspiracy, it's already happened.
Yeah,
And
Okay.
women,
they're not hiding
I
it.
can only name one woman, but there are more women who are on the chopping block too because they can't man up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
that's what Secretary of War Hegseth said, and that the African American admiral who was the head of Southcom
yeah.
said, I can't play this game. It doesn't make any sense. Not to mention, there was somebody who was
So did he get fired or he resigned?
no, he
He
retired.
resigned.
He
He
resigned. He
he
retired.
left the
Okay.
service because they're, he was like, these guys are, I'm gonna get my guys killed. And
Oh,
here, I just put in the chat. Here,
Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Daryl was explaining it. You don't have to do it for him. Go ahead.
No, he's got it. He's got the paper. I don't have the paper.
yeah. AP that Hegseth, again, Trump's Secretary of Defense, he fired every top military lawyer. So
Every top
right now we
military.
don't have a military when was this? And this was back in February. So
I'm not hearing you correctly.
we don't need no sticking lawyers. we don't need our military to follow and he said it, he said we're not gonna, care about rules of engagement. You can pretty much do what you want. You don't have to, just kill. We just want you to kill whoever we tell you to kill.
Okay. So did they eliminate lawyers or African Americans?
Oh, both. Both.
Either or, both went.
And women.
And women too.
The chairman of the Joint Chiefs was African American, and
that's one guy
replaced by this guy who was not even a 4-star general.
Yeah,
promoted him.
And
they gave him the job.
And Trump, remember, Trump told us he's going to get rid of all any diversity. He doesn't believe in diversity.
Okay, now wait a second. You keep changing what your statement is. I don't understand. What did they get rid of?
Slow down.
What did they get rid of?
What don't you understand?
You might as well say he got rid of people who had 2 eyes and 2 ears. Because people belong to several categories. So he got rid of DEI, or did he get rid of lawyers, or did he get rid of minorities, or did he get rid of what?
Ken. It's all of the above. He got rid of, again. Well,
but you said you brought up the topic of DEI, and that's why he maybe got rid of them, because they were promoting DEI.
He also promoted the guys he replaced them with are. I think you're getting an echo, Daryl.
Hey, yeah, Daryl, you got an echo, please.
You got something in the background. He's Trump's also appointing.
No, don't start.
Yes.
We're not up to that segment of the routine where we take an hour to attack Trump. We didn't start the Trump attack yet tonight. No, that comes a little bit late.
Jim won't tell you anything different.
No, I know what Jim will say. Jim may not join us because he's wrapped
Jim knows a number of general officers.
Yeah. So what?
Go.
So your conclusion is he's just firing everybody?
No, he fired the top brass again because he wanted to replace them with people loyal to him, just like Hitler. I'll stand by that.
And just like Biden, everybody does that. So
Biden, again, I'm not a huge fan of Biden, but no, Biden didn't have some mass purge of
Clinton. All presidents get rid of the top and then bring in their own people.
Actually, usually.
Yep.
Usually they don't actually.
No, usually they do.
Biden, I think kept the same guy, the same chairman, at least at the beginning, that Trump had.
Yeah.
Milley.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so now I got that, Alex. Thank you. I want to see what Daryl, if he agrees, but don't interrupt him. Go ahead, Daryl. Who did Heghead, whatever his name is, Hedgehog? What did he get rid of? What generals did he get rid of? Just African Americans and women?
far as I know, I haven't been able to get anybody to follow up for me. I haven't really been very mentally or physically capable of doing what's necessary in order to give you the answer that is required. But if you go to the um, listing for the joint, what's the title, Alex? Commander of the Joint Chiefs of Staff?
Chairman of the Joint Chiefs.
Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, you'll notice that they at least usually serve out their terms. I don't see any place where they haven't done that. And with regard to Lisa Fanchetti, they didn't even let her get in the office. They terminated her before she could take over. And she's supposed to be really sharp. She probably would have been gone now by now anyway, but that's not the point. The point is, for me, I mean, I'm leaving all the politics on the table. I'm just talking about the money. And if you're going to do for drug interdiction, you don't need the Gerald R. Ford down in the Bay for
No,
interdiction. With how many Marines are in Puerto Rico? 3,000
five.
plus 3,000 on each ship. I don't have the exact figures, so I feel very uncomfortable about speaking about this, which is why I was hoping that some folks would be on tonight to talk about it.
Well, what would
What's
you
the
do? What
logistics?
would you do in place of destroying the ships? What would you do? Cover them with
Follow
marshmallows? What?
follow maritime law. You
Yeah.
know, what happened to interdiction? Just all arrest them and see what happened. What about the two guys that actually survived?
Uh-huh.
What happened with them?
I think they were arrested.
And what happened?
I don't know.
They were
Exactly.
returned to the country.
I'm
They
not
returned to
concerned
that.
about I'm convinced that they were smuggling
You
drugs.
should be, Ken, because if they're
Why?
actually drug smugglers, then you should be able to arrest them. You should have enough evidence to
Okay,
grab
let's
them and
say
put them
you're
in
right,
jail.
Ken. Let's say you're right. Is
Yep.
is, is drug smuggling a death penalty?
Well, it could be. That's international
No.
waters.
I'm
It's
talking
international
about
waters.
I'm talking about if you get arrested and tried for
In the
smuggling
United
drugs.
States. In the United States.
No, I'm talking
In any
about, I'm
country,
asking you a straight
in
up
almost any
question.
country.
What?
Oh,
There are
Ken.
very few
So
countries
Ken,
that carry
you
the
want
death
Sharia?
penalty.
Oh, here, Ken's review.
Yeah, no, Alex, you got to stop interfering.
Okay. All right.
No, you're
Let me and Daryl have a conversation, please.
All
There.
right. All
So
right. So
wait a
you're
second.
saying
Wait a
that it's
second. Stop talking. We had a place called Abu Ghraib where we incarcerated and tortured people who we accused of being terrorists. Right?
yes.
Okay. No trial, nothing. And they were tortured and harassed. A lot of people died from mistreatment and other reasons in Abu Ghraib. And Mr. Rumsfeld said, we should not make public the rest of the story. It would be irrevocable. We couldn't change it. We could never get support from the public again if we let them know what else we did. So we have a history of killing people without protocols. The American Indians, or people, civilians in Iraq, people in Panama, wherever we went out with the military, lots of people get killed without, without saying, please stand still. You have the right to an attorney and to a trial, and you have a right to this and that, and we're going to take care of you and your family. No, a lot of times they just shoot people. And if it's a massacre like My Lai, then if it's killing civilians, then it's considered a heinous crime and so forth. But if it's happening outside, it's not in the U.S. and it's not American citizens, but forget it. And then there was an American citizen that Obama or somebody killed. He was an American citizen.
Obama.
Okay, he was an American citizen who was telling,
Three. At
three
least
of them.
three.
Americans that went over to
Yeah.
ISIS. So they just killed them.
No, not over the ISIS. They were talking some smack. That's all it
Yes.
required.
Okay,
There was
great. So
no
there you go.
connection. There was no proven connection.
Okay, great. So there you go. So that's what happens. That's so your pretense that it's a big deviation from past behavior.
I
No.
didn't say that. I didn't
Okay.
say that. That's all in your head.
And well, you're
That's
saying
all in your head.
why don't you acquire control of these guys in the boats and find out what they're doing and what are they, is it sugar or is it opium?
It
Now
doesn't matter.
okay,
How are they
here's the
going to
thing.
get to the United States?
Here's the story. Here's the story.
I'm listening.
They had fentanyl and cocaine, and that's what they're transferring. There's a lot of
Okay.
evidence on that.
No, there
Assuming
isn't.
that there is
Show me
so
the
much
where do I
evidence, you
look
have
for
no
the evidence?
idea.
Where do I look for the evidence, Ken?
Look on YouTube.
Okay. I'll
Okay.
look on YouTube. Do I
All
get to
right.
go to Victor Hansen
No, you go to
or
anybody.
or or or, or what? Joe
Individuals.
Rogan? What am I
No,
talking
watch
here?
watch documentaries about drug trade. So the question is, if 60,000 Americans are dying from fentanyl without no knowledge, the fentanyl's been used and over abused and marketed as pills and so forth. 60,000 Americans are dying, mostly young, and some old guys who can't afford heroin. So you got a large 60,000 dying every year, and you got four guys in a boat bringing in 170 million fentanyl capsules.
Ho, ho, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay, okay.
Could we stop right there for a moment?
Ken,
What do you
Could
want to
we
do
stop
about
right
that?
there?
let me give you a basic
Ken, could we
fact.
stop
You,
right there?
No, we've got to stop
Ken,
Eric's. Go ahead.
Ken, can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Can you pull up a map?
Yeah, sure. Map of what?
Caribbean, Venezuela to the closest part of the United States or wherever you think this fentanyl is going in.
Oh, I don't know the full track of how they came in,
No,
but
no,
they
no,
were
no. Just
leaving.
pull up the map.
Okay, I'm going to show you. I'll do better than that.
Unless there are 11 gas stations between Venezuela and here, they're going to have a hard road to hoe. And once again, since the United States is responsible under what is it called, Alex? The rules-based trade. Is that the system that the economics, the logistics works on? Rule-based trade?
um,
Is that
well,
what they call it?
World Trade
The
Organization
system they developed after World War II so that they could
plus the
control it.
the WTO rule, World Trade Organization. That's what governs.
I
And
think she was on last night
If
on the
Ken knew
phone.
any facts, he would know that 5% of the drugs get into the U.S. through the Caribbean. In fact, again, more than most of it comes through Mexico.
And you
So,
know why it comes through Mexico?
because that's the
Because
easiest way.
somebody, who was the aide to Colin Powell, and I was really surprised
Oh,
how
Wilkerson, yeah.
yeah, he said if we cut off the sea routes, you're going to destroy Central America, and they cut off the sea routes in the West. And they destroyed Central America. Now, one would think that you would want to treat those 60,000 Americans who are demanding fentanyl so that they wouldn't want the drug,
Yeah.
right? That would have saved the Sacklers a lot of money, who were and Johnson and Johnson. You know, it's always somebody else. You got to fix them so that your problem doesn't affect their lifestyle. That ain't right. And still, my understanding is that unless you had 11 fuel stations between where they left in Venezuela with the type of boats that they were talking about, you ain't got no game.
So where do you think they were going? Where do you think they were going?
I think they were fishing.
Oh, you don't think they were transporting drugs?
No.
Okay.
Right.
All right, fine.
But once again, hold
If
it,
you
Ken.
Yeah,
However, I haven't been on the game.
yeah.
So I don't have a clue what's going on, which is why I tuned into this to find out what people are thinking, what's going on.
Well,
I mean,
the military conclusion is that all of the phenomena that from past experience, these what they call submarine boats, they're like they float right at the level of the water. They
mm-hmm,
don't go under the water. And
mm-hmm,
they could see, you can see from the videos that they have packages of something white in plastic bags covered by blue tarps, and it's consistent in each of the boats. And they have four engines on the back, and they travel very fast, and they have a few guys. And some of those boats have been stopped by the Marines, not the Marines, the Coast Guard, and they know that they carry drugs. So it's very standard appearance. So it's not really an exaggeration or a guess. They're not fishing. They're going at 50 miles an hour, 50 knots an hour over the water, and they're not stopping, and they don't have any fishing rods, and they're not throwing out nets. They're certainly not fishing. And where are they
well,
going? I don't know if
how are
they're
they going to
going to
get to the
Puerto
United
Rico
States?
or they're going to. There's there's various islands in the Bahamas. You know,
Trinidad Tobago is the closest, I
yeah,
believe.
yeah. So whatever. And then from there, they go this way to Miami and so forth and so on. And then they come up, or maybe they land in Mexico. Maybe they get it from Venezuela up to Mexico. And, because otherwise there's the land road from Colombia. Let's say the stuff comes from Colombia, it's cocaine. To go by land is very difficult because of territory in between Colombia and I think it's Guatemala, just below
Panama.
Panama. Below Panama, there's a territory.
It's the Darien Gap.
Yeah, the Darien Gap. Is that named after you? No. So
Yeah, it,
so the
it's
Darien
a
Gap is very difficult. So somehow
it's
it
a
gets to Venice.
motherfucker.
It goes to Venezuela, and maybe they take it by boat to some Veracruz or someplace in Mexico, and then it comes up through people's cars and shipping and this and that. I've watched various videos on the transport of corruption. Basically, what the shocking thing was all these drug raids they've been doing, they've been arresting a lot of American police on the border patrols or guards and in the Coast Guard and customs that have been corrupted that let people through. They're on the take. So they arrested a lot of those. And it's a big thing. It's a big industry. In fact, I have a map that I could show you of all the cities in the US that are main distribution points for the drugs. And your thing about let's counsel everybody to get them to stop taking the drugs. That's fine and people feel like, it didn't work when we outlawed alcohol. So the alcohol is kind of I think it is restricted in the case that it costs money and they control the amount of alcohol that's in the wine or the beer. They kind of restrained it, and they don't really have a method of talking to handle alcoholics so that they stop drinking alcohol. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe that we could.
can, as long as you have a central intelligence agency,
Yeah,
enough drugs are going to get through.
that's
Because
right. The CIA
as
is
the
very.
no, because as the historian Alfred McCoy has extensively documented, going back to the 70s and actually before then, but also Douglas Valentine, who's done the best of histories of the DEA and the previous U.S. anti-drug organizations. He proved that basically, well, every group, every anti-drug organization, the federal government up to the DEA they were extensively infiltrated by the CIA, and that they were doing things like what the CIA did in Venezuela in the 90s, which is to basically allow a 20-ton shipment of it was like a 92 or 93 into the US of cocaine, and they said, oh, we're going to track it to find out, where it all went, and then use it to arrest all the people using the. But somehow that never happened.
Well, that's
Somehow
right.
all the drugs
That's what
seem
I just said, Alex. There's a lot of internal corruption. There's a lot of internal
yeah.
corruption, and it's a major problem. But nobody wants to come. It's hard to get people
Again, it's
to
a health
deal with
problem.
it.
It's a health
It's a
problem.
health problem.
It's not a crime problem.
Oh, I see. Okay.
No, because look, all you got to do is look at what happened in Portugal when they totally decriminalized almost everything, almost every drug, including the hard stuff, and again treat it as a health problem. And again, they have a lot less drug-related crime than almost any other country in the world. They did, the country didn't collapse because they decriminalized drugs. They're actually much better off now. They're because again, it works. I mean, anything in like your entire life convince you that the war on drugs actually works or ever could work?
Um,
Yes or no? Can we stop people from taking drugs? Like you said, oh, well, again,
no, no. I think
we
there's
stop people from drinking alcohol.
no. I think there's drugs used in every society, one form or another. So
Yeah,
but you can police it to say it can't be used by minors, and it
it's
has to
called
be
regulation,
regulated.
and you're not better off if it's drugs are controlled by the government.
Well, we'll see what
I mean,
happens.
not in terms of criminally again, but again, legalize it and
Well, I'll tell you something.
have the
I've
government
seen
control
this.
the
No, no,
supply.
no. In discussing certain political issues with people from the left that are socialist or progressive, I constantly run into the statement, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't stop the immigrants from coming in. There's nothing you can do about it. If you stop them at the border, they'll come in by the ocean. There's nothing you can do about it. If people are dying from drugs, there's nothing you can do about it. If husbands are beating up wives, there's nothing you can do about it. If guys if children are changing their gender with operations and this and that, because there's nothing you can do about it. And I hear that over and over and over again all the time. Give up, give up, give up. And
Well,
then you don't
first
wind
off,
up with
first
it.
off,
Then
more people.
you have an amorphous lack of culture. Look, cultures are based on tradition and requirement and discipline and regulation of behavior. Like we drive on the right side of the road, we stop at red lights and go on green lights, slow down on yellow lights, right? And we wait and say, to some degree, more or less. A lot of times it's violations. And you don't you cross at the corners, there's that and this and that. You don't lie, you go to school, you get a diploma, you don't cheat on the tests. Every time you do, you make these violation rate restrictions. To some degree, if you're caught, there's a negative consequence. Sometimes the people just make up resumes and they get elected lots of times. In fact, there was an illegal alien that became a sheriff, and and so forth and so on. And he just fabricated his identity. So all kinds of corruption always happens, but doesn't mean you throw out the culture and the traditions, you know. So it's a balance. Nothing's absolute. You're always going to get corruption no matter what. Your family, I don't know your relatives or your family, but some of them are corrupt because
Yeah,
that's the way it is. It comes in every category. You put 100 people together. I am shocked. One of the things in Los
you've
Angeles
never
that
been
we
to Greece
noticed
yet,
that
right?
in Los Angeles there has been no criminal prosecution of rabbis or religious figures, taking advantage of women and sexual harassment or sexual behavior, which means they're lying. They're covering it up because there's so many Jews here. It has to happen,
Well,
because it happens in all groups.
it's the same in in the Hasidic communities in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, there have been pedophile scandals that have come out. So we know.
Yeah, yeah, but they don't, they
And then they
cover it
have
up.
then they have these idiots who say, oh, we don't want Muslims here because they don't assimilate.
Well,
I mean,
Muslims,
what
yes,
do
that's
what do Orthodox do? Or, again, if you, as these guys were pointing out, go into certain neighborhoods in Brooklyn, and it's
well, you
all
spend a lot
all
of
all
time.
acidic,
You,
and you can't.
but you bring up a very interesting thing. What percentage of New York City, that's the five boroughs, are Muslims?
I think the number I heard is it's close to 1 million people
A
total.
million people, that's 9%.
That's, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And that's why Mondami, whatever his name is, Mondani got elected. He had 9% of the votes in the bag.
It's like any ethnic candidate.
Yeah,
Other
that's right.
previous candidates got elected because they were Irish or Italian, or
That's right. So it's not all this
nothing
political
else.
stuff and he's saving the masses and all of that
But
rhetoric.
he yeah, because they did it. They hadn't. Most of them hadn't been in politics, but yeah, then they have a charismatic guy who's from
It's very
the group. What
charismatic.
what
It's
what do you
very
think? It's like Khan in London, who again? Oh yeah, yeah. Daryl, have you heard this one? That, oh yeah, it's gonna be so bad because we're gonna be just like London to some of these right wing idiots. To which my thought was, I brought to some friends, like, we should be so lucky to be a city like London, which has a much better quality of you know life than we do here, and as you know
really,
arguably better than New York City.
really.
I mean, they have their own issues, yeah.
Oh, they have their own issues. Oh,
I
that's
mean,
funny. I'd
no,
heard
I
the
mean,
same thing.
but that's because of Brexit and the dumb economic policies that the British government's been doing. It's not particularly London's fault. Again, also they don't do enough to you got the issue of the city of London, which is their financial district, which is basically literally like its own little preserve. And they don't tax their, well, like us, they don't tax their banks enough to get enough money out of them to provide services to everybody. Oh, Kenny, I wanted to ask you, since you know Zoom, do you know how to disable the thing where, like, it's automatic? If you move it, like, it'll automatically zoom in on you. Do you know how to
No.
stop that? Because actually, I saw this funny video where this woman was like weirded out because the
Oh,
camera,
okay, okay. Here's
Zoom
your
Zoom
answer.
kept zooming in on her boobs basically when she moved. And she
Okay,
was like, "Oh,
here's
this is a sexist platform."
how do you know she wasn't she's just blaming somebody else for being
No,
an
no, you could see it.
exhibitionist?
You could see the video is like zooming in on that essentially.
Okay, here up in the upper right hand corner, you see the word view.
Oh, view, yeah.
So you can select to see speaker, and then whoever talks, that gets full screen. Gallery, where you see
Under that, I just
everybody.
see show participants and then close chat. Uh, Wait.
You don't see speaker or view or gallery.
Uh, at the top, no.
Under the word view, on the word view, click the word view.
Yeah, it just says show participant. I think that's, and then close chat. It's because I'm not a host, I think.
No, I think
Maybe it's under, oh, is it under meeting? I see.
under the word view.
No, again, I just have show participants and then close chat are the only options. Maybe it's the camera button. Let me see if I can change it there. Okay, I probably, yeah. All right. Adjust background and effects is the
No, it's not that.
video. There's a thing for video settings at the bottom of that. Is that what it is?
No, it's right there on the top. It should say speaker or gallery or multi-speaker.
I think that's just for the host. I don't get that when I click on view.
Just click on the little tic-tac-toe next to it.
Again, I don't get that because, again, I'm not a
All right.
speaker, I think. Yeah. I mean, I'm not the host, so I think.
Well, there you go. So that's the answer. I don't know otherwise.
Okay.
And how were her boobs? Was it
She got,
worthwhile?
yeah, she was good looking, yeah. But she was, was again pretty obvious that it was just.
Want to make sure that doesn't happen with Daryl. I don't want to see his boobs.
Now might not want you to,
So you're right. It's a big mess with the drugs,
yeah.
but I consider it a problem in society. The drug use
Yeah.
is a
Not
major.
something,
I
not
say it's
something
not a
you can,
good society that uses a lot of drugs.
not something again you can stop by, just blowing up the guys who are bringing the drugs in. That's this isn't some Hollywood movie. This is a lethal weapon. You can't, kill the head of the cartel and then so you don't have any cocaine anymore. I mean, we've done that too. Well, we with the Colombians killed Pablo Escobar, and then basically just the Cali cartel stepped in instead. It's always just a game of, well, even if we were serious about it, it's a game of whack-a-mole. Because as long as there's the demand, people are willing to pay a lot of money for cocaine or marijuana or whatever, or MDMA. People are going to find a way because they want to alter their consciousness.
May
Right.
I?
Yes, go
Go
ahead,
on, Daryl.
Daryl.
Yeah.
I was listening to some military folks who were helping people who had PTSD and other challenges. And guess what they brought up? They're using ayahuasca treatments.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. To deal with that works in a lot of cases. Yeah.
Now, how long ago on WBAI was the guy? I'm trying to think of what his name is.
Oh, the guy that they got rid of, Gary Knoll. Gary Knoll. I think that
No, no, no,
he,
no, no, no.
No. You're talking about the
No, we're talking about
psychiatrist.
he was on.
oh,
Yeah, he was on with Bob Fast
oh
and
yeah.
Paul Dirienzo and all them guys.
Uh-huh.
And the challenge is the human. Once again, you were as Ken was saying. Well, how can God let this go on? Well, if I give you the power to change it, and rather than changing it, you perpetuate it. I mean, can anybody explain Sudan or Gaza to me? I don't get it, but I know that I'm not doing a whole lot about it, and that's very troubling. What do you tell
Okay.
your What do you tell your children when they say, "Well, okay, so while they were taking United States money and United States weapons and killing children, what were you doing?" I was trying to get my head together. Sounds strange, but that's what I'm doing. You know, I mean, right now I'm trying to adjust to the weather. Are you getting a wicked wind yet, Alex?
I haven't gone out today, so but
No, I'm talking about I'm inside and the wind is coming in
oh, I'm
here.
not. Yeah, I'm not hearing it too badly where I am.
Okay.
My windows are pretty thick. So.
I'm on the 24th floor, so
Oh, I'm just on the seventh. Yeah. So I mean, I haven't. And yeah, I guess it can get windy, but I haven't
what I'm
heard
saying
anything.
is that, and especially up here at Co-op City, so you add five. If they say that the gusts are going to be to 60, they're going to
Yeah,
be at
yeah.
70 up here. I want to know why, when they give the weather, they don't tell you why this is happening. Is it the Gulf Stream is malfunctioning? Do we need to drill, baby, drill? What do we need to be doing? Because this stuff doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And once again, I fully believe that you can take even the most warped mind with the current tools that are available, provide them with food, clothing, and a job, and everything changes. But once again, that's me.
Okay. Do you think there's a portion of the population that you won't accept that solution, doesn't want to work, doesn't want to eat what you are providing, and wants to be stoned all the time, or wants to doesn't want to be inside, wants to be outside, or is afraid of himself, or it's got a mental illness? You know, the population's the population. They don't all fall into the ideal recipient of friendly assistance. So you can't just come up with a solution that'll work on. You come up with a solution that'll work on, let's say, 40% of the population that needs help. But then you have to have a different solution for the other, the remaining 60%, or different solutions, you know. But we're on the planet. We're here. This is Earth. And this is the history of the world. And we live in the world. And there it is. You know, that's the way it goes. I don't know why you would expect more. Let's say you were a chicken, right? And what would you be doing about the injustices that are done to chickens? Would you fight it?
I think there's a movie on that.
Chickens of the world unite, you know? I think
Yeah, I can see that.
chickens are probably one of the highest exploited forms of life. Well, you could say the same for fish or cows, but chickens are like, you know, just not much attention is given to them for their cognizant enjoyment of life. I don't think. Sometimes they're raised in cages until they, you know, done laying eggs, and then we eat their children, you know, eat the eggs. And then when they're just not good anymore, you plump them up with water and other things and sell them and put them on roast and sell them in Costco for $5. So it's really an exploited society of the chickens. So but that's the planet we live on. That's the structure of things. And throughout the rest of the species, there's a majority of predator and prey. And in other words, most living species survive by exploiting other species. Okay? I don't know about bees and ants. They don't live on eating. I don't know what they eat. I think they eat vegetables. You know, I think. But if you're looking at mammals, they usually live, well, some live on vegetables, but a lot of them live on prey. They're predators and they eat the prey. They kill it, they catch and kill it and eat it. And the younger it is, the better it is, the easier it is to catch. So that happens. And I've seen birds, you know, in documentaries, birds go in and steal eggs from other birds, even in their own species. And those are real eggs with, you know, fertilized eggs. They eat those eggs. So that's the way the world is. And until you can positively say that you should avoid dying because after death there's nothing, or after death it's bad. If you can't say, I know with certainty that after death is okay to better, but it's at least okay. But if you can't prove that that's not true, then what's the big deal about being concerned about injustice and everything? What's the difference? Who cares? And if life is over at death, so what's the point of justice? You keep somebody justice, and then in a period of time, he departs. Doesn't last long for each individual. And, you know, but I mean that facetiously. You can try to make a just society so that everybody who's not dying is living, is having a good time, and just for its own sake, arbitrarily. So let me ask you to unmute because I'm talking too much. And I wonder if you're listening or you just turned me off. Daryl?
I'm listening. I think
Oh,
that
okay.
that view is pretty sad.
Well,
Whether you believe in afterlife or not,
yeah.
with the amount of capital that's already been accumulated in this particular economic cycle, there is no there. You could feed everybody, clothe everybody, feed everybody, and educate everybody, pretty much without the people who have currently are controlling the wealth, without them even feeling it. So
But
the idea is why? Go ahead.
that's just the capitalist, what do you call it? Utopian concept. When has it ever existed? Where? A
Well, it
society
couldn't
free
exist
from conflict,
until
free from war, free from famine, free from injustice, free from greed, free from stupidity, free from ignorance, free from deformities, free from handicaps. What society are you talking about? When did that ever exist? I could put up a utopian society where everybody doesn't have to take the subway because they can teleport just by thinking they want to be somewhere else. Well, as soon as we accomplish that, we can get rid of the subways, and then people should be able to live by breathing air and then turn that into nutrition. Then we don't have to have an agricultural system. If you're hungry, you just take in some breath of air and churned it into nutrition. So that's my utopian society. And that's the same as saying we should have a society where nobody gets upset with anybody, nobody hurts, nobody uses violence, nobody steals, nobody cheats, nobody's selfish, nobody's greedy, nobody's narcissistic. Everybody's just wonderful and we all get along. It's easy. All you have to do is tax the rich. And that's just an illusion. It's an insanity. It's just an illusion. We're on a planet that's diverse. People have different DNA. They have different circumstances, and the essence of the cognizant entity that's controlling the body varies from one individual to the next. And they have different backgrounds and different traditions. There's a lot of variance, and they reject your solutions because they live in because of the nature of societies where they grow up with certain traditions, and there's a proportion of people who don't because they reject those traditions, but there's a majority of people who do follow those traditions. So that's my argument for what you're saying. Hey, it's easy. Just tax the rich.
Well,
Everything's
no, it's
already
not about
here.
taxing the rich. It's just that,
I mean,
a
different
proper
forms of tax the
distribution of
rich. Tax the rich in
resources.
different forms,
No,
like distribute everything. Distribute everything that's being hoarded by the rich. Tax the
no,
rich.
but it's entirely true that
That is true.
if we distributed what the world produces, we can, feed, clothe, house, and do all of other people's basic needs for the entire for all 9 billion
For how
who
long?
live here.
How
Yes,
long?
if we
How long?
not, it's an issue of concentration. It's not an issue that, oh, we don't have the resources to put a shirt on everybody's back. It's because, again, whenever there's famine, I mean, people who study this know that famine is always the result of politics. It's not a it's not it's even when, like, you have crop failures, it's always about, well, who you have the crop failure, but then who gets to keep the food that's left, and then who starves. It's always an issue of political control and distribution of food in that case, or of money, or of clothing,
Well,
or
I would have to say you belong to a
I mean, how
cult of
many
everything can
again,
be solved.
how many how many buildings and houses, and I'm sure you have, well, we know because it's in New York again. How many
Wait a
yeah,
second. Let me
how
ask you a
many
question.
how many
I'm going to interrupt to ask you a question. Are you living in your own apartment or your father's?
It's still technically my dad's, yeah.
It's your dad's. Are there any empty bedrooms in the house?
Empty? No, there's just the two. So
So they're both occupied.
yeah,
Do you have a bank account?
yeah.
Why don't you liquidate it to help the homeless?
That's not about that's. I'd be happy to be taxed more in order to help the homeless, but
Well, you can donate more to the
it's
federal government. Nobody
actually
stops
again
you.
actually people were pointing out with the SNAP thing that actually again private charity is much less efficient than the government at feeding people. In fact, again, for every one person that gets fed by private charity, including again the churches, 8 people get fed by the government. So it's simply not feasible to provide charity that way. Again, that better way to do it again, because again, government has the advantage of scale. Just like a factory, government can concentrate resources like that and be efficient and about distributing it. I mean,
That's if you have. That's if you have a government.
Yeah, we know how
You guys belong to a cult
not a cult.
It's easy to do. All you have to do is tax the rich. That's the cult.
Hey, who was the welfare
First of
system
all,
better under?
Ken, I didn't say anything about taxing the rich.
I know that, but that's what this comes down to. You're saying there's
Why?
enough
Why do you say that?
because you said there's enough if it's well distributed. You're talking
Is
about
there enough capital present to feed, clothe, educate, and house every human on the planet right now?
I don't think so.
Why
No, because no, we just went through the fact that the most austere.
That's a straight question, Ken. I didn't give you any garbage.
Okay, so no,
I'm asking you a question.
No, because the infrastructure doesn't exist to accomplish that. So
that's
no,
not true. That's definitely not true.
If you put a few,
even with the evil of the USAID, that's a proven fact. So I mean, you can have the wish you want, which is a world of turmoil and whatever it is.
What are you going to do to stop the turmoil? How do you stop the turmoil? How do you get rid of the people who cheat?
The first thing I would do is come over and maybe hug you and pat you.
No.
Cut the bullshit. Obviously, Grace doesn't do it enough.
How do you stop the drug dealers? How do you stop the guys breaking into stores? How do you stop the guys doing carjacking? How do you stop the murder? How do you stop the assassinations going on? How do you stop the CIA? How do you stop Smith? How do you stop the bombs? How do you stop the oil spills? How do you stop the massacres? How do you stop evil or whatever you want or stupidity?
Ken, I'll tell you how you do it. You give everybody, and this is quite possible, you give everybody a good job with a salary that they can live on. If everybody was, you would have, I mean, still you would have a few people, but you would greatly reduce the number of people who are on drugs.
Yeah, and the way you do that is by taxing the rich.
People who abuse drugs. It's often again people who are they're unhappy with their lives, and again,
where are they doing this?
A lot of poor people take drugs because it's a way to escape from the fact that they're
you're a scientist now
because they basically don't have enough money.
Okay, and the solution is tax the rich and give the money to the poor. Yeah, tax the rich, give the money to the poor. That's the solution.
That would reduce the use of drugs. That would get.
There you go.
Again, I think there's people who think there are studies out there that correlate again. Yeah, more. They look at that Gini coefficient that measures inequality by country, and I think again they could. There's a correlation between drug use by country and again Gini. So yeah, that there's actually it's not a 1-to-1, but I'm pretty sure that there's some studies out there that correlate by country inequality and drug use.
Okay, the best on recent data, the country with the highest Gini coefficients is South Africa, Namibia, and Zambia, and a bunch of basically Africa. Okay, that's the highest.
The
Okay,
highest for
now
what?
Gini coefficient,
What's the Gini coefficient? I
the
apologize.
ratio of rich to poor.
Yeah.
The best, that's the lowest Gini coefficient is Slovenia.
There you go. And
And
who
the
comes
Czech
from
Republic,
Slovenia?
Belarus, Moldavia, United Arab Emirates,
Belarus. Belarus.
Iceland, and Ukraine, and Belgium, and Finland.
Okay, and who comes from Slovenia?
Sloves.
Slavs, Slovs,
Slavs.
Slovens. I don't know. Doesn't our first lady come from Slovenia?
Maybe.
Yes, she does. Here, I
So
just look.
that's it. So that
Does
it
that
Here's,
make her an
varies.
immigrant? Can we
Yeah,
deport
but
her?
she married
here's,
somebody. She
here's,
married
here's,
an
here.
American
Here's,
citizen.
you watch this guy here. Here's the correlation of which countries have the most. Well, again, shouldn't surprise us. The U.S. and actually Canada is number 2. It looks like. Oh, Australia not too far behind. UK's about here,
Yeah.
and we know European countries are much less in a they have less unequal than we are. And look, again, it doesn't correlate entirely because Russia has lower, and I think they're more unequal. Russia's more unequal, but I think
Oh yeah, you're looking at the same chart I was looking at.
yeah.
Yeah, but
So
see, they first of all, certain countries don't want to have drug traffic,
yeah,
whereas the United States has always been sort of partial to controlling the population using drugs.
yeah.
So, in that context,
So wait a second, just forgetting about go back to the graph. Which countries are the most inequitable, the most deviant between rich and poor? The
Yeah.
darker ones or the lighter ones? Alex?
Just a minute, I gotta find the chart.
Oh, I got it here. Whoops.
Okay, yeah, I can put
I
it.
got it. You see it, right?
Yeah.
So which ones are the better and which are the worst?
Well, South Africa is obviously the worst.
Okay, the darker
Russia-
colors, the darker the color, the worse it is, right?
Yeah,
well, that's why you got to bring them to the United States, Alex.
yeah.
So here's the US 41.8. Here's Canada 29.9.
So that's
So Canada's better than the US,
yeah.
right?
And Europe,
And South
Europe.
Africa is 63. So that's the most severe. That's actually the most severe.
And I mean, South Africa obviously has drugs, but I don't think there's
Russia is
anywhere near where we are.
35.1 and the US is 41.8.
Yeah.
Now,
Here,
okay, great.
South Africa, they're a little bit in terms of drug use, they're a little bit worse than the rest of Africa. But
Yeah.
but much less than like again,
Now,
they're
but you're having the concept that the absolute equivalency is the best situation. There should be no difference.
well, no, it's that there is a correlation though. Again, you can see again by the fact that Europe is both, they have less drugs than actually again the Anglo-American countries, and they're less unequal. I mean, Britain in particular has become a lot more unequal recently again because after Brexit.
Okay, let's clear that question. Would it be an ideal world if everybody was equal, where there was no distinction between rich and poor? Everybody had the same amount of everything?
If they
One
had the same
carrot, one
the
car,
same
one
basic
phone.
amount, if they had the same basic amount, basic level again,
If everybody has the
level
same
whatever you
basic
want to call it,
level.
same basic level of living, yeah.
Well, we have
And
that.
that
Everybody
would
has
that
the
would
same.
that would solve a lot of problems, because that would solve a lot of people being happier, being unhappy for one thing. You don't think that, Ken? People
No, I think that any species I look at, there's a gradient scale of privilege and ownership and ability.
Yeah, yeah. But if you
And in
met
the
people,
America, in the U.S. in any country, the same any industry, and that to point out what I'm talking about, look at American sports. Look at football, baseball, tennis, golf, anything. You have a hierarchy. Who won? Who's best? Who's
okay,
most persistent?
and you were
Let me
you
finish.
were
Let me finish. And in music and in theater and in movies, who won the Academy Award? What's the best actor? What's the best music? There are gradient scales and competition in all human activity, okay? Including, betting, playing poker, investing in the stock market, running a business, making electric cars, whatever it is, we're always measuring one against the other. This is the best, this is better, this is the worst. Always. Remember, what's the worst car ever made? The Yugo. Remember that? It got that
no, actually
standard. That's,
the Ford Pinto, I believe,
well, I think the
because
Yugo
I
is
don't think
worse.
The Yugo didn't blow up.
Yeah, but the people
Right
that
at
when it blew up, it killed everybody. So there was no upset about it. The Yugo was a pain to suffer with. But in any event, there's the worst car and the best car. Okay, and there's a fight. Is it a Rolls Royce or is it an Italian car? What do you? And who's got the best hamburger? All of life is filled with that hierarchical competition for who's got the best. The glasses you're wearing were selected from a collection of available glass frames. You chose that one because it won with you. So everything's like that. It's
Yeah,
the essence of life is what do I do to survive better and longer?
yeah.
And
And
that's a
and
variance.
you were
Except in communist countries where they say you get one can of beans and one bag of flour, go home. Don't
yeah
come back.
you were around. You were alive in 1960, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Was the United States a better, a more happier country in 1960 or now?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't do a survey. Happiness
No,
is
no. I
not.
mean, actually, yeah, no, no. But in
No, no,
general,
no.
would
I
you
don't
say
believe what psychiatrists say.
people you knew?
No, no. Happiness is not the goal of life. The goal of life is not happiness. The goal of life is acquiring accomplishment in a challenge that you selected to participate in. That's what life is about, accomplishing something according to a purpose that you decided to participate in willfully, not happiness. Happiness is very transient. You feel happy, oh boy, I'm happy because I won the poker game. I'm happy because I got a kiss. I'm happy because I was able to climb this mountain. It's very transient. But the purpose is, getting the touchdown. Well, in fact, if you watch a football game now, every damn time they do anything, whether they tackle somebody or they get a touchdown, they do a victory dance. They're happy because they accomplished something. Happiness comes from accomplishment. Happiness does not come, well, sometimes you get transient happiness from uh, absorption of sensation. Like, oh, it's nice. Oh, every time I go outside, the clean autumn air on a sunny day makes me feel good. That's very transient happiness. Or, I feel well fed. I'm happy. My children are doing well. I'm happy. My child is in jail. I'm not happy. My child hates me. I'm not happy. Okay? It's not a question of goods and food and being cared for by the nanny state. It's a question of accomplishment. How about you? Didn't you get a PhD in something?
Yeah,
Huh? No?
yeah.
Yes, you did. So, hey, you accomplished it. You set out to do
Okay.
it. You accomplished it. The day you were awarded that, you felt accomplishment. That's happiness. That stays. That's long-term happiness. It's got nothing to do with income.
No, it does.
Well, no, it may affect
You
your
think
income.
people on average, if they are homeless people on average happier than you and me?
Yes, some of them are. Sure, absolutely.
No, on average. I'm not talking individuals.
Yeah,
Would you say
Johnny
on average
Appleseed.
are homeless people are they doing great?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
have guys. I
if
got a
if
guy. I
if
got a
if
friend.
if that's true, Ken, then you should, sell your house and yeah,
No, no, no. I'm not that
go
guy. I'm
join them.
not. What I decide for happiness is me. In a free country, you get a choice to decide what you want to do to accomplish what you define as happiness. It's not defined by the state or somebody else. You search out and pick your own challenge that you want to accomplish. That's freedom. It's not really complicated. But the thing is to say, like, the state has decided everybody should have a telephone, everybody should have 3 square meals, and at least one eggnog a week, you know,
The
and so
state did,
forth.
Ken, the government did decide to make
No,
phones affordable enough that yeah, you could have
no, I
happy
don't think
backup
so.
Pepsis.
I
No,
don't
they
think
made
so.
it. They made
That's
it,
bullshit.
and so that your phone bill would be low enough that you could afford to have a phone. And that pretty much, well, again, by the '60s, certainly everybody could afford, even in way out rural areas,
I
even in
think in
Alaska.
this, I
That
think
that and that's because
competition.
government. That's because government regulated. That's because government created basically state-run monopolies for the most part for the phone company. Until AT&T got broken up. That's how it worked.
But yes, but then it's not. Then it's broken up, and then the price came way down.
Okay,
So
Ken.
it's.
You know what the median rent back in 1960 was.
Wait a minute! Don't change the subject,
Not changing
Alex.
the subject.
What you
I'm
just
pointing
said
out
was
again
not true.
the rent back.
What you just said was AT&T made it so everybody could afford to have a telephone call. Then they
Yeah,
broke up AT&T, and the price went down for because
no, it's
industry
overall gone
competed.
up since then.
The industry competed. The price has not gone up, not for service. It's gone up by inflation. So with the statement you made was disproven because when private industry got it, then there was advancement and smartphones and everything like it. So before, when it was under the government control, it was static and didn't improve. Now, it could have been good to have the government take care because it's got a lot of heft and weight and it can build bridges, and you can't wait for somebody to get to a point where they can build bridges. So the government comes and sets up utilities, and it's a lot of places where the government should be doing things. You don't want 5 different gas companies and 6 different
Well,
electric
first
companies.
off, Ken, you should tell Mike all of this and
Who,
listen to the
Michael?
many ways he complains about how the phone companies screwed him
Oh
again.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, he's accomplished the ability to complain. That's good.
Not just him again.
He
Private,
he's got something to
that's the
complain
new
about.
regulation.
Fetch, fetch,
And
fetch.
again, there are other things. Why Cleveland? Cleveland has much lower. People who live in Cleveland have much lower electrical cost. Electrical bills in
Yeah.
general because the city actually owns the electrical company
Yeah.
as
Well, go
opposed to
live in
again,
Cleveland.
Con Ed or
That's a great thing about the United States. You can pick a state and say, I'm going to Cleveland. They got a lower electrical bill. I don't want to stay in New York. It's
that makes
cold, it's hot, it's dangerous. Why the hell am I living here? Go live in Cleveland where the electric bills are lower. I live in LA.
it
It's one of the most expensive cities to live in. Why am I staying here? Well, the weather's good,
cheaper. Yeah.
you know, and I'm not homeless. I'm not living in a tent. By the way, none of those people are homeless. They live in tents. That's all. That's their home.
Well,
Calling them homeless is a misnomer.
which city solved homelessness for a few years, right? Salt Lake City,
Yeah,
because there basically what they did is that the government, the I forget was it the city or state government, yeah, basically, but they had their own housing and they provided, they provided services to get people off the streets, and it worked again. It worked too well because of course they had to stop it
why?
because it was it actually worked again, and they didn't want it to be a good example for other cities to do the same thing again, to have publicly owned housing. Like in fact, again, like a lot of the number of cities in Europe that basically do that in part, or the two best known ones are Berlin, where again the city government owns
Go live in
a good chunk of the
Berlin.
housing, And
Go
again,
live in
Reds,
Berlin.
that's the reason Berlin can be and Vienna can be so bohemian, because again, artists can get a cheap
Berlin,
art.
Berlin is suffering from mass migration that's causing over costs in social services. Plus, they made too much of a clean energy, and they can't supply it at night and when there's no wind.
Well,
And
that's because
they got rid of their nukes too soon.
no, that's the main thing
They
there is
didn't have any
they're dumb
news.
enough to stop buying Russian
Buying Russian
gas,
crude, right? That's
which
right.
which is what they were counting on. But again, they're captured by the U.S. and decide basically go on a suicide mission to help Ukraine, who was losing the war anyway. But
Yes, it's all fucked up. So
but
I
Ken,
don't think Europe is in an ideal
I
condition.
gotta pick up the rest of my laundry, and then I gotta do some. Uh, my dad, he I don't. You ever broke your hand or wrist, Ken, or know somebody that happened to?
Yes.
That happened to my dad. So he
Did
needs
he broke? Oh, his wrist, not his
he
fingers.
his radius or whatever.
So you got to
he
you got
um
to
he fell in the street, and he
you
busted
got
it.
to feed
So
him, or
so
is
he
he in the
needs well
hospital?
no he can do some of that on his own, but he needs help. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand that.
He's
You
in a
definitely
cast
need help
for a
if
few
that
weeks.
happened.
So, yeah.
Did he get a lawyer?
No. It was kind of it. Well,
How does it
he
matter if
was
you got
trying to
the right
cross.
lawyer?
It wasn't anybody's fault. He was trying to cross the street, and he was carrying too heavy a bag. And the way he says it, basically, again, he's 86 now, so he's not the strongest
Hello,
he's ever been. And so,
I'm
yeah,
telling
basically
you, Alex.
he said the bag kind of pulled him down. He kind of, then he lost his balance, and then he smacked his hand hard. So, yeah.
Alex,
Yeah.
get a lawyer.
No, I mean, who are we going to sue? The city?
That's the place to start.
uh, Probably not worth it.
Hey, you can have it your way. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that
Okay, I get what you're saying. It's just,
what I'm saying
at this
is,
point, it's not worth the hassle.
all right.
Again, it
Because
was.
I've
I mean,
got pains. I've got pains. I got pains in both wrists. I'm homeless. I've been bouncing around out of hospitals for the last year or so. Um, in the transfer or the death of my beloved, I lost access to all my clothing
oh,
and my dad's ashes, as a matter of fact. And I'm not. I'm failing to quote unquote punch up to the weight to see what's going on. But you know what? It's okay.
yeah.
You know, it'll be what it'll be when I make it what it needs to be. I thoroughly disagree with Ken with the
Yeah,
amount of
we all do.
mental, with the amount of, I mean, because Ken mixes a lot of stuff together so that he can win a point. Well, you can stay in capitalism, brother.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you play in your capitalist game where if you go back far enough, when we were all pulling together in the same tribe for the good of the tribe, it wasn't for the good of the head man.
You mean
So as soon as you
tribe
give up
against
this
tribe,
European,
tribe against tribe.
Even you go by, when was the country growing the best? It was when there was a lot of, even in the supposed golden age of laissez-faire capitalism in the 19th century. What they always ignore again is that the government intervened a lot. Like the government, the federal government did things
Erie
like
Canal,
they built the railroads, and
Erie
they
Canal,
also they gave land to colleges, the land grant stuff, and other land, they handed out land to people and to businesses essentially. So actually, the U.S. government was
How
very
did they decide who to give it to?
well. Probably there's a lot of corruption in it, but
Did they when they gave land to the colleges? Did they discriminate about which college they gave the land to, or they gave the land to all colleges?
Well, put it this
to a
way,
bunch
they
of
didn't
them,
give
to
any.
people who are willing to start them. Yeah.
There weren't a whole lot of land grant colleges to people of African descent.
Yeah.
There were a few
They
with
got
no money
land, right?
attached.
But they were
You
they were
know,
different
separate but
schemes.
equal, except that equal isn't equal.
Yeah, true.
You know, you have it your way, Ken. If you want to have a miserable
Well, let me ask you
champion's
this.
life,
What do? You give everybody gets a ring for
you
playing
don't give
the,
anybody
the Super
anything.
Bowl. How do you do for when one team
Well,
wins
what
the
you could
Super
do is
Bowl? What do you do with
oh
the other
no,
teams?
what
How
you
did
could
LA
do is
pull it out?
you could do what
How
FDR
did the
did.
Brooklyn Dodgers win this year?
Competence,
What?
competence, COMPETENCE, something like
You
that.
think
You
Trump?
want to
You
break
think
that
Trump
down for
didn't
me so that
transfer
I
competence?
understand what you're talking about?
They got more on base, more home runs, less
I
strikeouts.
don't think they got more on base, but they
No,
did get more
they've
runs.
actually said they basically bought. They spent a lot of money to get the players to win the World Series. Actually,
Well, when they
and
picked the Warriors,
they almost
why did
lost
they decide to pick this guy instead of that guy? Because this guy was more
because
competent.
what they do sabermetrics. They analyze their numbers, figure out what's a good. How do we put together a good team? How do we
That's
get
right.
a number of runs to win?
So they got the guys that were going to do the best for them. They selected. They said, not that guy, this guy.
Which team has the most money in baseball?
Huh? The most what?
Which the most money again still for and historically
Probably the
uh,
Yankees. I don't know.
yeah, and who has the most World Series in baseball by a pretty far margin?
Most wins.
Most World Series wins
I guess I don't know.
Yankees by a lot.
Yankees
They have more than 20
because they
something.
had the most money to buy the
Yeah,
best
but
It's
players.
called
again,
capitalism,
people
my
who look
brother.
at it, yeah, all the sports reporters would admit that.
So capitalism leads to competence. Competence. If you got enough
No,
money, you win the game,
It leads to that's
isn't it? That's what you're telling me.
not
not
capitalism.
me.
Fine,
I'm telling you, capitalism is death.
Well, that's your opinion, but it's not a
Not
fact.
my. It's not my opinion.
Of
It's my
course it is.
history in the United States of
capitalism.
America. The
Capitalism
first
has
thing they
killed
did
a lot
was
more
take
people
my
than
labor.
communism ever did.
Which country has the most effective and offensive, or the most dispersed, competent, covers the world military? Which country?
United States of
Yeah, but
America.
it's incredible.
Okay, thank
The
you.
DoD
Thank
is
you. Thank you. Thank you.
But that's
Which
today.
country has the highest GDP?
China.
yeah, by
Okay.
purchasing power. Again, the only reason we have in nominal GDP is because of the dollar advantage.
So
If
why
you put
does
it in
China have
purchasing,
a higher
if
GDP
you
than the
spit it out by
US?
purchasing power,
Why does China, why did they beat the US in GDP?
because they have
Because they
socialist
did the
Chinese
analytics and they
characteristics.
said they could sucker the United States into
Uh-huh.
giving them enough technology and time and train enough
They're
engineers.
they're very smart at plan. They do planning. They plan their economy out
Don't
very.
don't go racist on me. Don't tell me
No, no.
Chinese people are
Why is that
smarter.
racist? That's actually
But you're saying
that's
Chinese people are smarter.
no,
Stop it.
no. I said
Stop
no.
it.
I said the opposite. I said government planning. Anybody could do it. In fact, we did it. What is what gave us? Let's see. Yeah, the GPS. Let's see. The cell phone. Well, actually, also again the advanced
Most
computer
of the
chip.
computer stuff was immigrants.
Yeah, that's all DARPA. That's all of a government research agency,
Right.
and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah,
Look at
all,
the
Right.
richest
all of
guy.
that was
Look
done
at the
because it was
richest
for
guy in the
the
world.
military. Yeah,
Well, that was all done by the US government, which is seated by people who are elected. And part of the reason they get elected is because they convinced the public that they were the most competent to
yeah.
take the position.
No,
And you know where where
that's not
basically
true.
all of our medical improvements come from basic. It all goes back to basic research. It doesn't. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
against
research
pharma.
done
It's
by,
not big pharma. It's not big pharma. Big pharma just monetizes it. All the basic knowledge behind it. And again, you often get a lot of the drugs. They're all who discovered penicillin. Again, it was Fleming. He was in a government lab. he wasn't, working for Pfizer. And again, all that, yes. So again, all of the major, and again, a lot of the other major medical advances in terms of like, surgeries and so on are, yeah, it comes from, again, basic research from scientists from getting NIH grants, not from big pharma. The thing is, again, then we let basically
Once a commie,
the
always
private
a
companies
commie. You can't
take that,
convince you guys. You
No,
guys are just anti-capitalist,
yeah, well,
pro-socialism.
duh.
I'm anti-capitalist
And
because I was
China's,
capital.
yeah, China's going to be, China's going to show you again exactly how great American capitalism is, because
It's using American capitalism to compete with the US.
with, again, planning
No,
with
no, no,
Chinese
no.
with
Go to
Chinese government.
China, take a look why they came out. They
Okay,
set up
Ken,
capitalism,
how come
Chinese capitalism,
if American capitalism is so great, why don't we have high speed rail
because
anywhere? Why can't California do it? If China can do it, how come California? They've been talking about it in your state, right?
no,
For
because we
decades.
got a fucking
Why
idiot
can't
Democrat. His name is Gavin Newsom.
no
He's a
before
corrupt
that
asshole.
there are plenty of Republicans in charge of your state before. Then
Yeah,
how come they couldn't do it? Republicans are so great. Why couldn't they start it?
greed and corruption
Why
and
not the
incompetence.
federal government? Why can't our federal government, not the Republicans or Democrats? Why
Greed,
can't they build
greed, incompetence, and stupidity, and that's why corruption.
and because it competes with the car companies?
Yeah, there you go.
You
So
you you
there's the
know you know
corruption.
you know the story how all of the the story about how the trolley cars got
Yeah, tell me
all
how
around
the
the
40
country.
million people died in the gulags. Stop talking about where things fucked up in the
Ken,
U.S.
that
So
wasn't
what?
communism.
You're
That
picking,
wasn't
you
communism. That was
pick and
capitalism.
choose, pick and choose, pick and choose. Oh, here's a mistake. There's a mistake. Forget about all the successes. Forget
Ken,
about the
Ken, the
highways
number
that Eisenhower
you
built.
can
Forget
bring out
about
the
the
black book of capitalism.
railroad across the
That
country.
doesn't come close to the billions of
Forget
people
about
who
getting
have
rid of the
died
Nazis.
because a business said, I'm going to skimp on safety features for this or that, or
Yeah.
again decided, oh, we're just going to let pollution kill people and give
Again,
people
you pick and
or dump.
choose,
We're going to dump. No,
pick and
these are
choose, and pick and choose, and pick and choose of every
it's
mistake you
all
can find.
capitalism, Ken. At the end,
It's
again, you just don't want to.
capitalism.
Yes,
We're
it
all
is.
dead. It's
The profit,
capitalism.
the profit motive leads to problems for society. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
basic
Profit
fact.
motive is bad. People who try to make a profit are evil. You're getting very religious, very
There's
religious.
something
You don't
really
like what people
wrong with
want.
it.
They want the wrong thing. They're evil. These are stupid, corrupt capitalists. They're all
Yeah.
evil. And the leader of this cult is Trump. He's the devil.
No, come
No, no,
on,
no. Trump
man,
is
give me
Elon
a
Musk
break.
and Bezos and the rest of them are the leaders. You think Trump again? If Seymour Hersh is right, Trump is getting to Biden levels of dementia.
Yeah.
He's on his way there, definitely.
Uh-huh.
Think
That's
he's
true.
making. You
If you
think
said
Trump
Peter
is
Thiel,
I mean, you can see it with Trump in some of his press conferences where he has like he can't string together basic sentences.
Uh-huh. If you hate capitalism, that's fine. I don't
I don't
disagree with
hate it.
that.
I just don't want
It's
to live
fine. It's
under it.
good to have somebody who
I
looks
think
for
we
the
could do. I
negative
don't hate it
because
again.
you
I think
could
we could do
point out
better.
the things that have to be corrected, and it could be better. You could always have a better version of something. So it's good if you point it out. It's the concept of communism. Find out what's wrong and fix it, and then look again for what's wrong and fix it. That's the basic
No,
thing of
the problem is
critical theory.
capitalism shows that whenever it gets properly regulated, then the
Yeah,
people with the money basically get rid of all that regulation, and it goes
yeah.
back to basically being an incredibly crappy system, and
There you
also
go.
very,
So
a
that
very
I got
risky
the
system.
answer. The answer is get rid of the people. Just have robots. The robots won't cheat.
Okay, that's what AI is trying to do.
That's right. Get rid of the people. The problem is people.
Yeah,
They're
and
never satisfied.
you
Why the
won't
hell
have it,
does
Ken.
Jeff Bezos
You
try to
won't
make
be
more
happy,
money?
Ken, when read what some of the people who like Alton and the stuff that they believe. Yeah, they believe basically all of us, including you, need to be controlled by a small number of billionaires,
That sounds,
and that
oh, yes,
basically
that's
we
George,
need a managed society. They
that's right.
basically they believe in fascism.
Soros. That's Soros.
No, no, no,
That's
no.
right.
That's
That's
Peter Thiel.
Soros. It's
Peter Thiel.
Soros.
No, read up on Peter Thiel. He is a much more evil person. Again, he doesn't even recognize.
So what are you going to do with these
Uh,
evil people? You can't execute them, right?
Nope.
oh,
You
you can
live
put them.
with them. You
What are you
You
going to
take
do?
their money. You
space
take
that they
their money
need
away.
to
Take
play with
anybody
their
who has
toys.
money, take it away.
You tax them. You
Take
tax
them
them,
in.
and they don't have the power to buy the system. They don't have the power to
Okay.
buy. You well, whoa, you
So make the high lower. Take the high and bring them down.
Ken, if you believe all this stuff, why do you care about election integrity at all?
Oh,
Why
because
not just why not just let the rich people buy elections? Why did do you think Citizens United is a good thing?
oh no, of course not.
I
Well,
think it's irrelevant.
so you don't want rich people to control the country, right? You're admitting that you're against rich people. You
No, I'm
don't
not
want them
against
to run
rich
the whole
people.
show.
No, 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 no. You go up into the hills here in Beverly Hills, you see estates. There's about 10,000 of them. There's 10,000 families that can afford to live in a $20 million house. It doesn't affect anybody else living in a $1 million house or a $300,000 house. The fact that that guy's got a $5 million house is not harmful to anybody else. In fact, it creates a tier of services, contractors, gardeners, painters, artists, restaurateurs that function for the high, the middle,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lower, and the lower.
Again, Ken, if you
It's
believe
a
that,
gradient scale. It's a
if
gradient
you
scale.
Ken, if you believe that, you shouldn't care that
I'm not
George
believing it,
Soros.
I'm observing
Wait, no,
it.
no, no. I'm just saying again, if that's what you believe, then you shouldn't care that George Soros can buy up a bunch of politicians
Well,
using
he's doing
you know,
it.
or
I,
Peter Thiel or whoever. You shouldn't. You should just sit back and again let them oppress you. you know, let them. If they decide again, Ken Aaron's house is in a place that hey, we want to run a highway through.
yeah.
Seize it with the eminent domain, pay you a little bit of money, and then you got
But there you go. Pick and choose. Hear how terrible everything is. You know, this guy stubbed his toe. My father broke his wrist. It's not his fault.
called the
It's the fault
system,
of the
Ken.
government and the city. It's capitalism that broke his wrist. You know, you're just going like crazy, crazy. Everything
Not
that's
crazy.
wrong, you blame on
I'm
capitalism.
sure I'm not
Hey,
telling
I
you
can't comb my hair. The comb broke. It's capitalist comb.
knowing your wife's politics. I'm sure I'm not telling you anything she doesn't tell you every so often.
Oh, she's just stuck on empathy. She's got empathy
Oh,
disease.
empathy. Well, so bad.
Yeah.
We
Yep,
should.
empathy. What about these poor people? What about these poor people? What about those
No,
poor people? What about these poor people? What about those other poor people? What about the people in this country? What about the people in that country? And so
The
forth and so
idea is,
on.
well,
why
it
are they
comes
poor?
back to you too, Ken,
Yeah.
because
Well, you know,
eventually
Ken,
those
why
rich
are they
people are
poor?
oppressing you. Go on, Daryl.
why are they
Why are
poor?
they poor?
For a variety of reasons.
Oh,
Do we
Not
have
because
answers?
the rich people are not giving them money, right?
no, no, no.
No, no,
Is
no.
do you do
Hey,
This
wait a
is
minute.
an
Let me
important
ask
thing.
Daryl. Do you know somebody who's poor, Daryl?
well? Daryl knows quite a
I
few
just
people.
ran down my situation. What are you
Yeah,
No,
talking
no,
about?
exactly.
it's not, forget you. That's your prejudice. Who do you know that's poor? Just
Prejudice.
give me a name. Just give me a fake name. A person you know who's poor. The people
If
I
you've
know
ever
who
been
are
to
poor.
Can you
if
define what
you've ever
you
been
mean
to
by
Jim's
poor?
place, he's
No, no,
not.
you're the one who's saying they're poor. Give me you. Who do you
No,
know
I'm
that's
asking
We're
you.
not
You keep
gonna.
saying,
Plenty of people.
the people I know that are poor have been a few of a misfortune. The majority have been irresponsibility and incompetence.
Do you know people who are working poor? People with two or three jobs who are still poor? Because again, those people exist, right?
No, I've heard about it, but no.
Heard about it? Well, you
Mostly
can read
those
about
people
it.
that have two or three jobs, have had too many kids. When
I
I
put
was
you
grew up, when
on
I grew
Jesus.
up,
So
you
remember,
don't have
in
kids
case
until
I
you can
pass
afford to
out, to
raise them.
take them out.
You don't just have kids because you want to have kids. You have to be able to afford them.
I
So
said, if I pass out.
I'm sorry, what was the name?
this guy's got 2 or 3 jobs because they're incompetent. They don't have
No.
anything that they can get paid
Yeah, a
for,
lot of
or
people have
they're
2 or 3 jobs
irresponsible.
because they don't have a proper a living wage off of one job.
No,
So,
because they didn't graduate high school, or they didn't get a
I
trade,
haven't
or
gotten
they
back
didn't
over
stick,
there.
they didn't stay on a job and show their value.
Ken,
I was in the work field. I was in the workforce. I had to work for a living.
yeah,
You know,
and
I've
you're a
done
white
that.
guy, Ken, so you had a better advantage than most people.
No, no, no,
Not only
no.
was I in the
I
workforce,
belong to
I'm going to be back in
two.
the
I belong
workforce
to two
again.
minority groups that you're not aware
Talking to
of.
these people
One
here.
is Jewish, that people think I'm Jewish, and the other is Scientologist. Scientology is extremely
Expensive.
discriminated against. They discriminate against Scientologists
You a
extremely.
Scientologist?
Yeah.
You go to the Western org?
No, 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 no. I was expelled. Most
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Scientologists,
so
but
they found something wrong with
95%,
Ken.
95% of Scientologists get expelled. There's a very small group that are
only when they wake
persistent.
up and look at the money.
No, 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 no. When they do something that their seniority doesn't like, it's not the
Okay, so
money. I
how did
never
you get?
spent. I didn't spend any money in Scientology. I earned money. I was on
Oh, really?
staff. Yeah, I was on staff. All the services I got were from staff, and I got paid for being a professional counselor. So I
What, you
didn't
an
buy
auditor?
things. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Pick up the cans.
And how long you been out?
Oh, it's 20, 30 years, probably
Oh,
30 years,
please.
40 years. I don't know.
So you were gone before the golden age,
I was there.
2008.
I was in Scientology when L. Ron Hubbard was alive.
Yeah, but he died in
I don't know, 85, I think, or 84.
yeah, okay, but were you there in
Right,
2008?
but and Ken, you do know that actually again the first minority you mentioned again, I mean it's just a fact that income wise, Jewish Americans do better than almost any other group.
Well, not as well as Indians. People
Yeah,
from
but they do
India do
better
the
than the
best.
average. So that's not helping your case. I'm just saying.
Jews, now, do you want to get into
I mean, it's just
races?
a
You're
lot
getting into
good
racism
for
here.
them.
You're getting
We,
into
we we
racism.
finally got an
I mean, again,
African who's going to be mayor
there
of
was
New
a
York
time when
City.
again there
He's
was
not an African. That's a
He
lie.
is an African.
He's
there
not an
was
African.
He is an African.
He's not. Then so is
Where was he
Elon
born
born?
there.
Musk. So is
Where was
Elon
he
Musk.
born? Where was he born?
Probably in an Indian conclave
Uganda,
No,
in
not
Uganda.
probably.
Uganda.
Come on,
Indian
Ken.
enclave. He bought. He
You
put.
got the thing right there,
That's
and you're
why he
going to give
can't
me
run
a
for president.
probably.
Okay, let's see.
You should know this stuff, Ken.
He
Because
grew
and
up.
again, you should know
Paul
because everybody's been
Zoran
yelling about how
Mandani was born
not
where?
he's not an American. Yeah,
He can't be president,
yeah, because he's
so
not
he's got
born there.
nothing to lose. Where was he born, Ken?
I'm getting into something. Kampala.
Yeah.
Kampala, where?
I don't know.
Uganda.
Okay.
His people were thrown out. Idi Amin
What do you
threw
mean?
Oh
his
yeah, yeah.
people
It's
out, right?
Kampala, the largest city in Uganda.
Kampala.
Yeah, yeah. His parents were refugees going there from India.
Yeah.
And he was born
His
in
mom
Uganda, and
is
Idi
the filmmaker.
Amin.
Yes. He tried to get into certain colleges or something, saying he was black, because the Title IX or the what do you call that? Affirmative action things aren't
No,
for
he said he was
All
Africans,
that
African,
it's
stuff
for
not.
for
blacks.
all that stuff for black people that keep white people out of college.
Yeah. So he tried to apply for that, but he wasn't white. He's Indian. His parents are Indian. His mother's a Hindu, his
He
father's a
is an
Muslim.
African.
Yeah, he was born in Uganda.
So if he's an African,
Yeah.
simply because he didn't end up in the fields doesn't mean he isn't eligible
Eligible for what?
for whatever it is you're talking about.
No, you're talking about, not me.
No, you were saying that he tried to apply for something that he
Yeah.
was denied.
I
And
don't
I'm
know.
saying that that was a racist denial. You keep saying he's an Indian, he's an Indian. Uh, Where were your parents born?
My parents in the
Yes.
US.
And their parents.
Oh, well, Russia and Germany and France.
Okay. So if I kept calling you a Russian Jew or a
Yeah.
Parisian or a French Jew rather than calling you an American, wouldn't you
Yeah.
think that that's a little wild? Just like Native American
Yeah,
drives
I
me
know. I know
wild all
what
of a
you're
sudden.
saying, Daryl. I totally agree. I'm an American. I
Okay.
don't take it, my heritage of my great grandparents and my grandparents and my parents. That's not me. I'm not
So that means
responsible for what
he's
they
an
did.
African
I'm not
because he
responsible
was
for what
born
they
in
did do or what
Kampala,
they didn't do.
Uganda.
Yeah.
That makes him an African.
Well, I didn't make this policy, this affirmative action policy. It's not
I'm not
me.
saying you did, and I'm not. Why do you always go there?
Well,
You go
because
places that nobody goes.
I agree with you that if it said Africans from any country in the African continent, then he's qualified. What's her name that did the same thing? Kamala Harris. So all of a sudden she became black. Okay, she was
Not all of a sudden. What's her
yes.
father?
Her dad. Yeah.
What's her father?
I don't know. She's not
Her
Father's
black.
father's Jamaican.
Yeah. What was his father?
I mean,
I
several
don't know
generations before
exactly,
that.
but I do know that there was a lot of slavery on Jamaica.
So anybody from Jamaica is black.
Well,
Yeah, that's the way it
her
works,
dad
honey.
is, yeah.
So
Her
the
dad
people
definitely,
living in Jamaica are all black.
no,
Not all.
her dad would be considered African Caribbean, like a lot of people are.
Okay. So if
That's
you
like
had
they
affirmative
say,
action, it has to be anybody from
if
If you
you're,
Jamaica.
didn't have slavery and then 100 years of Jim Crow in which you couldn't get,
Wait a
you
minute.
know, you're not all
Does it
that
matter
white.
who your parents are or
You
not?
just got white
Does it
status
matter who your
in the
parents are?
50s,
Are you mad? Does
right?
it matter if your parents were slaves? What does that have to do with anything? You're not a slave.
You're sitting on that waiting for what?
Well, you agree.
No.
If you're born a slave, you're a slave. If you're
If
not
you're
born
in
a slave, it doesn't
capitalism,
matter
you
where your
are a
parents
slave.
were.
It's just a
Oh,
matter of
if your
how
parents were
much
slaves, you're a slave.
my
your
grandparents were
parents,
slaves.
your ancestors.
If your ancestors are slaves, you're a slave,
Well,
right?
do I get any points because I was denied jobs because I was an African?
No, you were
Okay.
denied jobs because you were not competent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you know?
because that's what I've experienced in the world. I've worked in various places, lots of blacks, lots of Indians, lots of Latinos, all over the place. Technical,
And the
non-technical.
only thing that gets
There's
people
never,
employment
right.
is their competence. It has nothing
So
to
is that
do.
right, Ken? There's never, even though again there are multiple court cases and class action suits about how, oh, yeah, remember again, Jim's not here.
Of course,
Remember
that's
what?
that horse shit. That's the horse shit
Remember,
that's
no.
going
Remember
on.
what his
That's the
mom did. His
DEI
mom
crap.
did. His mom did. Yeah, enforcement for discrimination against women in several corporations
Sure.
when Jim was growing up. There,
Yeah.
and that was you can tell you stories about it again. And again, Jim's seen discrimination in the workplace, definitely.
And I've seen it too. So what?
Yeah.
Go on. Go to another place. Get a job. Stop crying and complaining. Yes, people discriminate. Absolutely. They might not like you because you got bad breath. They might not like you because you're black. They might not
Yeah.
like you because they don't like the way you slur. They don't like the way your hair is cut. That's
Our
right. They discriminate. That's
our
right. and they hire or don't hire. So you keep going until somebody hires you. That's what you do.
The only challenge with that is if if the capital is kept away from those who have the ability to do the hiring in a given situation,
It's
then
crap. Don't it's you're giving me crap. I've talked
No,
to
okay,
people
no.
like
all
this.
right,
You're going
all
yak,
right.
yak, yak. I wanted to
Everybody in
get a job.
America,
I wanted to get a job selling cars. I went to 5 or 6 different car companies until I got 3 offers. And
yeah.
then I got 5 offers. They didn't want me,
Okay.
but 3 places said I could work there. I
First of
kept
all, what
going
year
until
was
I
that?
got the jobs.
And how
I'm
First
not
of all,
how
what
many
year was that?
I took 3 because I knew one would flake out, and then at least I'd have 2 more I could make a decision about. And you go until you get the job. You're not owed the job. You got to find some place that wants you. You
if
can't say they
somehow
don't want me and they're wrong because they don't
Ken,
want me.
if things were so fair and you just, if
Who
she got
said it was
a job,
fair?
then
What do
why
you mean fair?
no, no, no. If that was true, then
There is no fair
why do African Americans have on average 1/10 the wealth of Caucasian Americans?
Because
Everybody
they're
knows what
lazy.
that
That's
is.
why.
Everybody knows,
Oh,
not
are they
lazy.
dumber? Again,
Because they're
like
lazy
Daryl
and
was saying, are they
stupid.
dumber? Are they lazier than Caucasians
Because
on
they
average?
no, they didn't complete high school and they don't stay married. That's it. There's no fathers in the house.
Yeah,
They went from 20% divorce to 70% in
no.
from 1964 to 2000.
Do
They used to be much less divorce than in whites, non-blacks. But then they went
okay,
the other way and it's
Ken.
70% single mother household. That's the reason.
Okay,
And they don't finish high
Ken,
school.
Ken.
And they shoot each
You're
other
just
and they take
just
drugs.
just stop for a minute. Ken, what?
Yeah.
How is money distributed to
What
to
do you mean
ensure
distributed? It
education
isn't
system?
distributed. You got to earn it.
It's
That's
no.
nonsense.
The funding
That's
of education is
total
totally
You
nonsense.
determined by
have to earn
property
it. You
tax.
have to earn it. Get a job. You have to
No, no,
earn it.
no, no, no. It keeps
Nonsense.
people in poor neighborhoods don't
No,
get
you
that.
got to go to
They
another
don't finish.
neighborhood. Get a job.
They
Get a
can't finish
job. Get a
high
job.
school.
Get a job. Get a
No,
job.
no,
I
no,
used
Ken.
to go
They get a
one
you get a
store to the next. I go to one store to the next. You got a job here? I would just right in my neighborhood. I did the same thing with Grace. I said, just go door to door and say, do you have any positions open? And eventually you get a job because somebody likes you.
Ken. Do schools in East LA get as much money as schools in Beverly Hills?
That how the fuck do I know? And what's the difference? Go
No,
to East.
you know, because you can
I
look
know
it up.
people
And
who
the
live in
answer
East
is no.
LA.
The
I know
answer
people who
again
live in L.
is funding of education
Thank you.
correlates
I
to
know people
property
who live in
tax.
East LA who work
A
on the
richer
West Side.
community gets more money
I
for its
know I
schools.
know people who live on the East Side who work on the West Side. They come every day and they go to work. And I say,
And
how
where do
far are
their
you
kids go
coming
to
from?
school, Ken? Where do their kids go to school? They go
Whatever school
where they live, where they live,
no, not
for the most part.
necessarily. They have to do homework. And if they get qualified, they can go to special schools. They can go to charter schools. They can go to different
Yeah.
schools. They're not discriminated against. They
And
don't, yes, poor
charter
student,
schools are had to be worse.
people who have 2 kids can be more attentive than somebody who
Charter
has
schools are
5.
better because they cherry pick the best students. That's the not because again they cherry pick the best students. They don't
I understand the
in
world
many
is,
cases they don't have to deal with disabled
it's
or
all
students that have
terrible.
mental
It's all
challenges.
terrible. It's all Charles Dickens. The
So,
whole world sucks. I understand what you're saying.
No,
It's all Charles
you can
Dickens.
look this
Every
up.
case, it's
I'm
all
forgetting blank
worst
on her
case
name.
scenario.
Not Barbara Ehrenreich.
There's no upscale, scenarios. Nobody got out of the ghetto. Nobody ever. They suffer and suffer and suffer. They're condemned to a life of displeasure and
Actually,
unhappiness.
Jewish Americans who were in the ghetto, if you look to the early 20th century, they did get out of the ghetto. In fact, again, they're doing a lot. As I said, they're doing a lot better than the average American
So there you go.
because again they were living in this.
It wasn't because they were better
There's
people. It
more
wasn't
government
because they
funding
were
of
more
education.
competent and responsible. It's none of those things. It's just, what do you call it?
It's resources.
Destiny. It's just the way things are.
It's
They were
resources.
lucky.
Resources. And
There
the
was
fact
no
that
difference. There's no
again,
difference.
you know, you're gonna watch this country fall apart because of that. This country is falling apart because of that attitude. Because again, too many
No, it's
people
falling apart
at the
because
basics.
somebody's
There's too
trying to
many
make it
people
fall
who
apart.
no, too
Somebody's
many
trying
people
to
are
make it
selfish.
fall apart. Somebody's trying to divide the public on
Yeah,
racial
and it's
identity.
the billionaires. The billionaires. They actually get
Maybe it's billionaires. Maybe
some
it's
of them talk
billionaires.
about how they have to collapse the whole economy
I think
so they
it's the
can take it over
socialists and the
and
communists that are
basically impose what they
pushing
call.
identity politics. Identity politics.
All
Oh,
right,
you're
Ken,
black. It's the
you're
most
gonna. It's
important
not
thing. Your
identity
race is the most
politics.
important. Oh, you're white.
The most important. The most
you're
important.
you're
No, the most
evil.
important identity is worker versus owner.
Okay, there we go. Straight communism. Okay.
No,
There's
it's
two
not. That's
classes: the
socialism.
oppressed and the
Socialism.
oppressor. You know that when every time I try to read the Communist Manifesto, I run into that and I say it's a gradient. Oppressors are sometimes oppressed, and oppressed people
You don't need to be
sometimes
a
oppressed.
communist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
What
like
is
Marxism. There's two
Ken?
classes:
Have
the
you
owner and the worker.
ever read Adam Smith? Have you ever actually read Adam Smith?
No,
Wealth of Nations.
no.
Who's the who's the worst kind of people in his mind? Again, it's what he well it's two groups.
Two groups.
Rentier,
There are more than two groups.
he said, yeah, he said no, but he said the problem with the system was again people, the landlord class, and also again the people who were and also again actually corporations. He had incredible hatred, and go read it, of the East India Company, which is one of the world's first multinational corporations. He said monopolies were evil. He's not a socialist. And again, and in fact, he said again, basically the way we get to industrial capitalism to unleash the energies of people again is to basically do away with the landlords. You gotta, and again he said you gotta tax them. You gotta tax them and regulate them so that they basically that the landlords don't own that they don't control the land anymore. That again, a fact the bourgeoisie, the
There you
merchants and
go.
factory owners.
No private property, the bourgeoisie and the landlords. There's the landlords and the
He didn't.
not
He believed in
landlords.
private property, but he believed in regulation too.
Yeah,
Ken,
yes, he believed
he
in
said
two
again, there should
categories.
be. We shouldn't have monopoly corporations. You
Right.
shouldn't have something like Google and Tesla.
Okay.
You should have
Okay.
these massively large corporations that have too much power and too much
Okay.
economic control. He said they should be. Forget his exact word, but he essentially said they should be broken up. So he believed in
So
that
in
stuff.
in your lifetime, your examinations of these monopolies like Google, Microsoft, Tesla, General Motors, Ford, all of these big companies and the pharmacy companies, have they been totally useless or have they presented some advancement in society?
They presented
They
some
piggy
advancement in society.
they piggyback they actually stole most of their technology from
Well,
again
that's not the
stuff
question.
the government did.
Have they taken advantage of their monopoly to advance society, including Amazon?
Amazon did it.
Mm.
Amazon is an incredibly pernicious force. Amazon put all the great bookstores in this country out of business.
Well, that's that you don't like it.
Amazon was again as someone again who's been a reader and read a lot of stuff in my life again. Amazon is yeah, it's been a totally evil force in terms of not just bookstores, publishing. Again, I think in general they've dumbed
Could
down
I ask you a question?
books you get.
Do you get stuff delivered by Amazon to your house?
Yeah, this is cheaper. Yeah.
Okay, is that a benefit? Is anybody else doing that?
It's at the expense first off of their workers, which I don't agree with.
Are you accepting the expense and tolerating it because of the convenience?
Why don't it not convenience? Again, I don't have a choice in terms of where, yeah. I mean where I can, yeah, I go to bookstores, I go to the Strand or
Yeah,
wherever.
me too. But sometimes I order things from Amazon because
And if I
it's a
can, I
wide
order directly from the
selection.
publisher. Yeah.
It's a wide selection, and maybe I can't find it anywhere else. And it's easier than going into 50 different stores to find a
Yeah.
special item. So the question is, you do accept the benefit.
It's not a benefit. Again,
It's an
again,
indulgence.
it was a benefit at, if it's a benefit like that, then it's a benefit at the,
What?
against millions of jobs that they basically, people, businesses that they destroyed.
Well,
Again,
I know people who won't go into Whole Foods because he bought Whole Foods. So they not only don't buy things from Amazon, they won't buy anything from
I
Whole
know, I
Foods.
know.
So you could do that. Why don't you stop buying from Amazon?
I don't. I try and do it as little as I can, but yeah, sometimes
Wow, that's not good enough.
no.
It's not going to change the
Because
world. You
again,
got to stop.
you don't buy, like you said, you do the same thing, Ken. You don't buy everything from Amazon. You don't, you don't have the courage of your convictions.
No, no, I don't have.
You make your own. Everybody makes their compromises in the real
I'm
world.
no, no, absolutely. I am a hypocrite. The only people I know or have ever met who are not hypocrites are the ones who admit they're hypocrites because I'm prejudiced to myself and my family and my friends
Yeah.
over people I don't know. So I don't say to everybody, oh, come to my house and dinner. I don't pick people at random from the general public, and I invite people to parties that I'm having, or I call people that I know and I want to talk to. So I know I'm a hypocrite because I'm not being honest with everybody. But I see families. If you told a family and said to them, listen, you have two kids that are 12 years old, you cannot help them with their homework. You cannot tutor them on how to speak English or how to write essays. You're not allowed to do that. You cannot hire a tutor for them because you're cheating, because those people don't have the money and time to do that. They don't have the education and training you are. So you're being prejudiced to help your own children, and that's not allowed. You've got to have it be fair and equal for everyone. So stop helping your own family. You're being a bigot. You're favoring your own family. Now that
Okay,
doesn't fly in this country.
Ken, I'm
It
gonna have
doesn't
to leave,
fly.
but
You
I mean,
can't. That's not acceptable
Ken,
here.
when you vote, I assume you, well, actually, did you go vote? Did
Yeah,
you
I
guys,
vote. I
you go
vote.
vote on Tuesday?
Yeah, I voted through the mail. Through, or no, put the card in the, yeah, mail, I guess, or through
Did you? Well,
a
how did you vote
Dropbox.
on your Proposition 50?
The 50th. Well, I heard a guy talking about it that said, look, there's some Republicans living out in the rural area, agricultural, and he's going to eliminate that by changing the thing so that we can't elect a person who's a Republican. He's going to make it difficult.
Yeah.
I don't see where that's democracy because we're not going to have any representation. So there's about 5 Republicans from California in the House. He's going to eliminate that. There'll be 0 Republicans. And he's doing it to run for president. He's saying, I'll stand up
Well,
to Trump. I hate Trump just like everybody else. I'm on the hate Trump wagon.
he's also, well, he has a point though. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Newsom, as you
I
know,
don't hate
but
Trump.
he's got a point that, well, when if Texas is going to get rid of their Democrats by
Yeah,
redistricting,
it's going to be it's
you just
he's
you
going to
gotta protect
lose
them
on that because it's the GOP states that are more able to change their
because they got total control of their legislature. Yeah.
whatever, something. Yeah. So, he may get 5 and somebody else is going to get 12, you know, besides Texas. He said, look, I have the right to start a battle between California and Texas. I'm doing this. I'm moving up to the national level because the state had voted on and selected an impartial third party group to do the districts. And that's what he's overriding. And he didn't just override it for the 26 election, he's overriding it until 2030, you
Yeah.
know.
Do you believe it?
So he wants
Well,
to make California an entire Democrat state.
right. Yeah.
That's it. And it
Do
is. It's
you?
got the largest number of homeless, the largest number of immigrants, and the largest number of maybe Democrats.
Well,
It's more
the large.
Democrat than Republican, but
That's
not
because
completely.
that's also because you have the largest population of any state in general. So that you
Unstated
would
what?
you have the largest population of any state, so you're going to have the largest
No,
population
no,
of a lot of other
I'm
subsets.
talking about proportionally. Proportionally, I think.
No, no,
You don't think
you
so?
have you have more. No, because, well, I guess it depends on what you count. Uh, I mean, New York has a lot of immigrants.
So
does.
anyhow, he's picking a fight on a national scene so he gets the press so he can run for president. Maybe he'll win.
I mean, I don't think no, I don't because I don't think you proportionally have more immigrants than Texas. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers.
Okay, let's check that real fast.
Right. But Ken, do you believe in antitrust?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, you believe in regulation of capitalism.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Regulate it.
So socialism or communism is just another level of regulation.
Yes.
More direct. You
Yes,
believe in
it's
some. You believe in some.
for the most part, it's a question of how many. So when you go from 20 people to 20 million, it's a difference.
And what do you find?
California, New York, okay. Immigrants by world
You got
population.
to do per capita or something.
Yeah, the capital California is the largest, 10.6 million. Florida is 5 million. Texas is 5.5 million. California, 10.6 million immigrants by state, with California is the largest. Okay. And, pretty big one is New York, 4.5 million, but 5.5 in Texas and 5 million in Florida. Then the
Well,
other
as they
states come
said,
in.
it's it also
But
the fact that again, California, it's not that the border across, before plenty of Mexicans in California,
no,
before it became,
California used to be Mexican
yeah.
before the Mexican-American War. You know, the Alamo and all of that, and we took Texas and Nevada and I don't know New Mexico. But that takes when we took Texas, California, we gave everybody here from Mexico said you can become American citizens or you can go back to Mexico. It's your call.
Right.
That's what was happening. So there's a lot of indigenous people that were originally from Mexico and
Sure.
still
Yeah.
live here, or their families do. So it's a big state. But I mean, he's running for president. I don't
Yeah.
even find fault in that because I would say there's very little restraint on being how you run for president because when you become president, you have to handle unusual situations of great magnitude. And everybody's looking for where you make a mistake and they're going to come after you. Oh, you blow your nose and wiped it on your sleeve. We got you. They're going to find you in every little thing they can. And that's what your opposition's going to do. And so, but you're going to have to handle guys like North Korea, Syria, ISIS, or and like Russia and Ukraine fighting, and Gaza and Israel fighting, and Israel spying on you. You're going to have all kinds of corruption. You're going to be betrayed by your best friends. So I can understand where I think a reasonable president is ruthless, tough, and unpredictable, dangerous. If it's somebody like Kamala Harris, they just put him up like a puppet, or Biden, and they do what they want behind the scenes, and they say, okay, go out there and tell them that you love democracy. And that's the
Well, the
one thing I
last the
don't like
last
of it.
few yeah, the last few presidents, and I include Obama there, are
Yeah, yeah, they're
they
too
got their
weak.
marching orders again. We know that Obama got the list of got his list of who to appoint for different cabinets from Citibank.
Right, right. It was the third term for Obama by proxy. So,
No. I'm
okay.
saying
But I mean,
Obama in the first term,
yeah,
he
it
got
was,
is documented. He got a list of people, appoint Hillary, appoint this person to the Treasury, and it's basically matched pretty much who he picked. So,
yeah. So, but I mean, it is, and that's the way it is. And there's a country, and hopefully
well,
there
it's a
is some
problem
some backlash from the
because
states because it's a republic, right? So the states are supposed to have some autonomy, and things should be different so that it's like in my neighborhood. I got a little Ethiopia, a little Tokyo, a little China, and I got a little Russia, a little Moscow, and different neighborhoods. It's okay, and as long as we follow a common thing about how fast you travel on the road, did you get your car, did you pay since do you have insurance, are you carrying a gun or not, just the common things that we all agree upon. but it's okay to have variance from state to state or neighborhood to neighborhood, I think.
Ken,
Yes.
was it a good thing that Trump put Elon Musk in charge,
Oh,
created
they
Doge,
the
put it up?
Doge thing, yes, that was very good. They came
Mhm.
up and they pointed out
Did
a
you think
lot
that was
of,
good?
yeah, they found a lot of fraud and overpopulation of
No, they cut they
what you have to look at
they
what
fired a lot of
was USAID buying. They were spending money like crazy, and a lot of that money came back to the Democratic Party indirectly.
a lot of it
You
goes to
know,
there's a whole USAID. They have the International Republican Institute that they give money to too.
well, the Republicans do the
They
same.
give money to groups supporting both sides.
I would hope that Doge or whatever they called it would have found that too, and not wasn't being partisan and only looked at Democratic groups. But USAID was mostly under the Democrats, and it
Yeah,
was
you know which
funds going all over the place, and some of it, a lot of it,
okay.
was being used for CIA
Yeah,
operations.
did you know
He didn't fire anybody.
which department did they not touch, Doge?
I don't know. Maybe it was maybe he's corrupt. I can see where
No,
Elon
the
Musk would be.
defense war. The
Oh,
most
really?
the most inefficient part, actually, again,
I
um,
know.
the most inefficient part of our economy. Well, one of the most inefficient part. Again, it has the small. There's a multiplier. You
There
put a
hasn't been
dollar,
there
you put
hasn't been
into a dollar into something, and funding,
right.
and it generates $3 or whatever. Defense spending is one of the lowest. In fact,
Right.
again, where you get the most bang for your buck is education.
Right.
That
Education
turns
gets a
out like 8 or 9 or 10. I forget the number.
that's right. The distribution of funds through education is the most effective to
Because
the population.
that improves
That's
the
what they say,
society.
yes.
Yeah.
Until CRT came in, then it changed.
No,
So,
nothing.
Then it went to like,
Again, Ken, you don't know what CRT.
I hate America. The things
That's
that
funny
go
to
on
hate.
here have never
But
been
Ken,
okay.
I'm gonna leave you and because again, like I said, I gotta help take care of my dad. He's
Okay, I
a few
appreciate you
more
taking
weeks.
care.
So,
I appreciate you
uh,
taking care. I
you
appreciate
ever,
you.
Ken, you ever been in a cast like that?
No, I never had a cast.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Uh,
I broke a shoulder bone. I had like a keep my arm in a sling, but I didn't have a cast.
well, he's got
But
a
I
cast.
mean, I appreciate you dedicating some time to take care of him. That's good.
Oh, there's,
Give him vitamin C,
my
emergency.
brother's.
Make
It's not so bad. It's just an adjustment period because this happened last week, and
Oh,
now
I got it. Does he like football?
yeah, no, he likes college football a lot.
Yeah, me too. So if you go to YouTube, even on like on the TV, if you have it, smart TV, you go to YouTube and you put in high school, college football highlights,
Right.
and you get all of them. You can sit there all day watching the
Oh
highlights.
no, yeah, he does that. On the weekends when they're showing the games on ABC or whatever, he'll do that.
Well, the highlights are much
Or
more highlights
some
are
of
more
the Channel
entertaining.
9 and Channel 11 will show games too,
Yeah. I like the college seems much more sincere. The
especially on
professional.
Saturday. Saturday usually they have a
Yeah,
bunch.
Saturday is college. That's right. Give him a hot dog and bring him an egg cream. Find an egg cream somewhere in
All right,
Manhattan.
Ken, but I gotta go because I gotta make sure
Okay,
my
goodbye. Good
takes care.
night. I thank you. I
All right,
enjoyed
Daryl.
Then
Good
if
to
I
see
get
you,
a
man.
chance, I'll send you the
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
wealth track
Right.
that has the information about investing in Greece.
who, the US?
No, there's private investment in Greece, and it's really hot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I could have fooled
Send it
me.
right away. Send it right away because I've got millions and millions of dollars. I don't know what to spend it on.
Right
I,
away. Go to
I,
Consuela Max Wealth Track and look
I
up the guy who does foreign investing. It's
no,
about
no, no,
two
no. Send me a link. I can't spell that. Whatever
Wealth
you said her
Track.
first name.
Consuelo Max.
Consuela.
She was one of the women who used to uh I don't
Okay, what
know
was
how
her
you
last name? Consuela what?
Mac, Mack. Go to YouTube.
Okay, let me take a look at this Consuela.
Consuelo Mack. She's
Okay,
been
well, I
around
got it. I got a
forever.
picture of her.
Right,
I got a picture. Wealth Track.
right.
What about it?
Go back about 3 weeks maybe
Oh, to the YouTube, you're saying?
in her videos. Yeah.
Let's say I go to videos and it's showing me all kinds now. So I don't want to do that. I want to go to
Does it
YouTube.
say anything
I'm going to
about
go to YouTube. Let me go to YouTube and put her name in and see what happens.
put in
I
Wealth
got
Track?
a Wealth Track. I see Wealth Track. There's a guy, David Gardner, and then there's her Wealth Track. And get an oil and gas stock beat every member of the Magnificent Seven. So I go Wealth Track, and what is it on Wealth Track I
And then
should
go to
find?
her videos and look up the one from about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, they're not giving me that many. But you're saying what's the topic?
Foreign
Is it
invest
Greece? Greece?
foreign investing.
Okay, let's see what comes up. It keeps coming up with this. Hey, Felix here, you and da 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 da, and that's Wealth Track and equity, international equity bond, maybe some short-term bonds and some cash. Smart investing for retirees, total cash, how to get rich. Investors don't care, focus. So I'm going to save this and I'll search through it. I have a bucket where I put these things and that
Hmm.
sometimes I'm going to go look at them.
If I get a chance, I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
But I just got a phone, so
Well, you got to,
I'll email it to you.
okay. Email or text message to my phone. You know my phone number?
It's on the email.
Okay. Yeah. You can text it there from your phone. It's easier than
Like I
sending an
said, I
email.
just got a phone.
Yeah.
I have to call them up because the person who was the previous owner, I'm getting their calls and stuff,
Oh, where'd you
which
get the
means,
phone?
which means that they didn't leave enough time between taking the number from the person, giving them a chance to, just like mine, I've got to figure out how I can get my number back.
Oh, I see. I don't know if you still have it or you lost it.
Well, I was in negotiation with Verizon. Tomorrow's another day. I'll find out.
Okay. That's good. Oh, there we are. Now I got the picture of the Zoom thing. Okay, so could we call it a quit now?
Hey, it's on you.
Okay, it's on me to call it quit. Yeah, I'd call it quit. I don't know. I'm taking I gotta go do this and that, but it's not that late. I made a few breakthroughs. So I'm having that's everything's okay. All right, I'm gonna go.
Well, all right, Ken.
And
Thanks for doing the forum.
okay, send me a thing about whatever that was, wealth.
Consuelo Mac Wealth Track.
Yeah, okay,
A
good enough.
really good thing on Social Security the other day.
Okay, I'll take a look at that too. Okay,
Okay.
bye-bye.